Hi, everyone. Anyone that's on watching, let me know if there's an echo. I think I hear a slight echo. Um, I am just doing some work and just looking like I'm looking. Yeah, I do hear that echo, you guys. Let me. Oh my goodness. All right, let me do this. I had my other my phone up to show different. Oh, how do I do this? To show different views of the room, and it's echoing. So I guess until I want to show you guys something, I'm going to put my phone way over there. And who is in? There's Denise. There you go.
Hey, beautiful.
There you go. Let me check. Let me check Facebook. I don't know how to stop that echo.
You got how much you got open? You got two YouTubes open?
Yeah, but no, I have this one. Let me see.
You gotta turn one of them off. You won't have an echo.
Well, I have my phone.
Well, turn it all the way. Is it in StreamYard or just regular?
I'll show you. That's my phone.
Oh, that you got it turned down all the way?
Uh huh. It might just be. Well, it shouldn't have. I'm not
Have you
using the
got
mic.
anything else open?
I'm not using the mic. So
I don't know.
can you see the chat?
I can see the chat. It says good afternoon.
Okay.
Girl, I got up this morning and I forgot
There
to
we
take my
go.
meds before I left. So I went and picked up Tatum at the high school. I mean, at the middle school.
Yeah.
Then we went to the shopping cart, got a shot. We got done there. We went by Toby's. Hey, guy.
Hey, I think.
Tracy is still
Oh, it's just
fighting.
it's Didi. Hey, Didi.
Dee Dee,
That
she's still fighting.
yes,
She's
she is
still
in a.
fighting that pain. I'm sorry, Dee Dee. I ain't seen you in forever, girl. But anyhow, after we got done at the health department, Tatum had to have two shots. He had to have a tetanus and his meningitis. They asked me if I wanted the SPV, the cancer. I said, I don't know. That's his mama's decision, and I don't make those decisions for her. So that'll have to be up to her. I can't do that. So he just had those two. Then we went to stopped at Toby's for a minute. Of course, Hagen was there, and Hagen loves her Nene, and she makes this growling sound, and she's jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and so then we leave there after a few minutes. We go eat at the Huddle House. We leave the Huddle House, and I said, Tatum, we gotta go home. Your granny's hurting. I need my meds, and I'm tired. And the baby's at the house. Ain't nobody there.
Now, have you taken your medicine? Hey, Red.
I took it. Hey, Red, what's up, sister? No, I'm doing okay, guys. It's just one of them. It hurts. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a lot of driving for me.
Whoa. Um, you guys, I'm just in here clunking around, um, barefaced. I almost done. Just I might pencil me or do me some
Now,
eyebrows,
shall we
but
not? Stop it.
uh,
Sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. I have another camera because I'm trying. Hey, Jen,
Hey,
um,
Jen.
I'm trying to kind of show more of this room that I'm having organized. I couldn't even think of the word organize when I was setting this up. I was
I
like,
told,
what?
I told Sarah last night, I said, listen, don't think your mama's got Alzheimer's, okay? My brain's just wired different since I got sick. It had to learn how to rewire itself because the wires came loose. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to show you guys something. I ain't ashamed.
Yeah.
All right. I am, I need a haircut.
Yep.
Dee Dee, let me put you as moderator. You done, did you change
Yes.
your
Yes.
whole thing? All right, add moderator.
Yes.
You guys, I've known Dee Dee since I was probably, what, Dee Dee had 100 on here?
Lord.
So yeah, Dee Dee goes way back. You
Yeah,
guys check
Dee
out,
long time.
check out her channel. Dee Dee, they have a channel.
Come on.
Um,
Baby.
Red reads stuff.
Baby.
She does devotions sometimes, and they both do different things. But I'm going to show you guys how much my hair's done grown. All right, let me pull this stuff up. I know Derek wants me to go back blonde, and it wouldn't be
Uh-huh.
much, but look, Denise.
I
Wait.
know how much it's grown. I see it every day. Hey, Wanda.
Yes. Hey, Wanda. So I'm going to show you guys a rare picture of how much my hair has grown. You guys see that?
I see the gray, but that was like you've got different colors right there too.
Yeah. Wait, I forget.
Since you've had it cut.
Look, you guys.
It's
It's
probably
hard.
grown. It's probably grown about 2 inches, 2.5
Yeah.
inches.
Yeah. Um, it has. Because I'm going lighter and lighter. But yeah, I mean, oh, look, Denise, you can really tell.
Oh yeah.
See there?
Uh-huh. It's probably grown a good 2 inches or more.
See, I love color. It's not that I'm trying to cover gray because to tell you the
Oh
truth,
no, he loves
to,
just to be different colors.
yeah, because to tell you the truth, when my hair was blonde, you can't really see the gray. But I love color.
Yeah.
I get,
Darlene is a natural blonde, y'all. She's not just whistling Dixie. She really is a natural blonde.
yeah, I really am. But I love color. And
Yes.
look this, I'm ready for it to be cut off. Kevin told
Even
me
likes
next
that
payday.
red too. Don't let her know.
Yeah, Kevin said
Yeah.
next payday I can go and have this cut off.
I just listen, I colored my hair for a long time. And I just got to where yeah, Darlene thought I was blonde headed. I'm actually a brunette. and
Wait,
a and a and a darker brunette. Not dark dark. I'm like medium.
um,
And Darlene didn't have no idea that's the color my hair really was.
I
Because
know
by
she
the
just
time
looks
I
like a
let it
natural
grow,
blonde.
yeah, when I let it go gray, it was blonde. It was a lighter blonde, and I just let it grow. And I'd get my hair cut regular.
Okay, Didi.
So couldn't even so I went blonde, I went gray naturally. And I'm like, and I ain't never looked back. I said, nope. I think I tried it one other time and I was like, I'm not ready for that. No.
Oh, you got on your shirt I gave you. Your did you
Oh
find the
yeah.
bottoms?
Oh, I had to listen. When I got home, y'all, I was in a pair of
Hey,
jeans.
Michelle.
I had a pair
Wait,
of
wait.
jeans and
All
a
right,
t-shirt.
look at Didi. Didi said she plans to color her hair tonight for her ex's wedding tomorrow.
You go, girl.
Wait, I'm intrigued that you're going to your ex's wedding. You got to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, go ahead, baby.
Michelle. Yeah, if
Listen,
any of you want to come up here, I can send out the link.
it was funny. Before I got married, I had dated this boy for probably 2 or 3 years, and, we talked about getting married. It didn't happen. I knew a lot of his family. One of his cousins was actually dating my best friend, and so he ended up he met somebody else, and, my ex-boyfriend met somebody else and was getting married. And Charlie, after the wedding, Charlie said, "You don't know how close I come to calling you and asking you to be my date for that wedding." I said, "I would have gone,
Well, look,
but I would have just gone just 'cause I
wow,
could."
I didn't think about it. Me and Kevin. Wait,
Yeah.
first show him your shirt. Let me put you big. Show him your shirt, Denise. Let me put you big. There you go. Look, I come across these in Walmart, and they had the softest leggings, and the leggings are black with shamrocks all over them.
But the T-shirt is awesome.
Yes. So
Dude.
I got them, and I went back, and I got two more pair. I sent Tracy a pair and Denise a pair.
Yeah, we've worn them all together before.
So, all right, you guys. You see me absolutely barefaced. So I have to do, you can see a little bit of my eyebrows now, but usually you can't see them.
She don't have her eyebrows on. She ain't got no eye makeup on.
I don't have my lips. Usually I
Either.
do.
At least her lips.
Yes. Usually I do my lips.
Y'all, she's beautiful just like that, ain't she? I keep
Thank
telling you that.
you. Thank you. You are prejudiced. Not prejudiced. Yeah.
I ain't prejudiced. I just don't lie. Thank you.
All right. Let me see. Here is my cell phone. I tried to move it away from the computer, but here is part of my room behind me. That half door is goes into our bedroom now. That used to be Mama's bedroom. Hey, Dee Dee.
Hey.
Hey, Dee Dee.
Hi. Good to see you.
How's it going?
It's going well. Everything's
You
going
look
well.
really great.
Thank you.
Have you moved, or are you still in the same?
No, I'm still in the little shack. Not the
little
one
rose
outside,
shack.
not the shed, not the house, but my actual house. I call it the shack because it reminds me of a shack.
Look,
Darlene,
girl,
here's your baby.
you guys are prejudiced too.
Ooh,
Mama had pretty pink lips. Mine Casey calls mine corpse lips. So I'm just kind of,
mine are no lips at all.
but I have to organize this room, you guys. Got to organize it. Let me see. I'll turn the chair. All my stuff is in my desk chair. So let
You're
me
doing
turn that.
really good, though.
Denise, I put that curtain up.
Oh, good.
It's usually in
Awesome.
mine and Kevin's room.
Yeah.
So that way, if Tiffany goes in the kitchen, can't nobody see her or anybody.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going on
Awesome.
around my room, you guys.
Yeah.
And that mirror
Wait.
is a door that goes into Tiffany's room, but we're not going to access the room that way
I
anymore.
like it.
Let me see. Let me turn it
That's
on
where
around.
me and Tatum slept, y'all, in that room.
Oh, you guys, right here.
That's what she got to organize.
I've got to break it down to paints, and the different kinds of paints I have. My pastels, my pencils. I've got all that kind of stuff. Plus, I have jewelry coming out the yin yang.
Yeah.
So that is my setup. Wait, there we go.
There she is.
There you are.
I mean, it's a big room. Because the middle of the floor had Denise's little removable bed,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a blow up. Yeah, it had a blow up twin for her grandson, and they were side by side. So this is big enough that in the middle you could put a
And
king
we
size bed.
still had a walkway between me and him
Yep.
where the he had a blow up mattress and I was on the rollaway, and we
Mhm.
still had a space in the middle we could walk.
Mm.
Oh, I could, because I was up against where all that stuff is on
Look,
that side.
I asked Tatum, I said, Tatum, you get hot at night? I said, because if you do, your face can be down at this end because then you'll feel the air coming in. He said, yeah, I'll sleep down there. He got cold. Him
Oh
and me
yeah.
both.
He woke up one night and he said, Granny, you got some pants. I said, they're all pink. He said, I don't care. So he grabbed a pair of my pants. I grabbed a pair of my pants out of my suitcase and gave them to him. And so he slept in one of my pink pajama bottoms.
Hey, that was okay. That was
He
okay.
didn't care. Listen,
Dee
my grandson looks good in pink.
Dee, they came and stayed with us a week.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of gathered that.
Yes.
Oh, we did.
That's
We had
fun.
a great time. Great time.
That's always fun when you get to meet somebody in person like that.
Yes. And Dwayne came in.
Yeah.
Derek, he was here. Not Derek, just popped in. Dwayne,
Hey,
which is
Derek.
Mothership, he
Mhm.
had come down too to our house. So he was here.
Yeah, he was here.
Yay! There's
Hey,
Derek.
honey. How are you?
Hey guys,
How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So
Feel better?
that is my ex-husband's future wife. Her name's Pam. She's a Baptist lady, very nice lady. We're super
All
close.
right.
So are you married again?
No, well, yeah, I've been married again.
I
I'm
thought
still
so.
with Matthew. Yeah.
Okay.
This is my my first ex-husband is getting remarried after 11 years of not being married to anybody after I divorced him.
Wow.
So that's Pam. That's who he's marrying tomorrow. And I went to their wedding shower, and now I'm going to the wedding tomorrow. And I'm giving them this as a wedding gift.
Oh, that's so pretty. Did you paint that?
Yeah, it's a paint by number, but I kind of put my own touch on it. I
Yeah.
painted it, and then I put marker around to kind of highlight.
Oh, I love that.
So,
I
thank you.
love that.
I hope she does.
You know, Keithan's ex-wife, we all went to church once upon a time together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when Casey was a senior. And he's 33 now. So it was one of her 5 marriages.
Did I
And-
give her the skinny on my ex, JRKR says?
So,
No, actually, I asked her today what she sees in him because I wanted to kind of compare notes and see if it was like similar, So I'll tell you what she said. Hold on a second, because she doesn't go on YouTube anymore. Anyways, she doesn't care. So she told me, if this opens up, his kindness. They became friends first. He gets along with her parents. He's willing to help others and her when she's not feeling well she gets real bad migraines, and he's a hard worker. He also just had a stroke. So she's kind of caring for him too. And yeah, I wish him all the happiness. I don't have any bad feelings about it.
yeah, I had to let go from my ex. I was his number 2, and he's on number 5. So
Okay.
I don't have to deal with him.
Right.
But Keithan's ex-wife, I remember that when she remarried her second husband,
Mm.
for the 3rd time, we were there, and my son actually took pictures.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Huh.
There's some pictures of me standing beside her on this little bridge.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, "Oh, Debbie, it's cold today." She said, "I know it is." I said, I always said it'd be a cold day in hell before you and I would get along. And that's what I told her. So in the picture, we're laughing.
Oh my, I bet.
Because it was like April or May, and it was cold.
That's funny. Yeah, it's cold now too, but it's going to be in the church, so I don't have to worry about being outside,
But
thankfully.
I know she loves Kevin in a special way.
Yeah.
They married because she got pregnant.
Mm.
And she wanted to get out of the house,
Mm-hmm.
And when they got married, she lost that baby. And then she got pregnant with Brandy.
Oh, okay.
All right, there, Derek again. So she married her second husband several times. Oh, look at that.
Cute.
That a cow?
Mm, It's a bank.
Oh, Dee Dee, just to let you know how Derek, you can tell her what's going on with you because Dee Dee hadn't been here in a while.
Long time.
If you feel like discussing it,
Yeah, I don't. That's fine, but dude, where do I start?
Begin at the beginning.
with your diagnosis.
Pancreatic cancer.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yep. Then
Going
because I have
through
pancreatic, that I've had it for a little over a year and a half.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I found out last summer, going to the hospital just to get rehydrated, and they said, "Oh, you got type 2. You got stage 2." So I'm like, "Oh, great, thank you."
Oh wow. Are you going through treatments for it?
Right now they're just still trying to do blood work and trying to get everything else situated because with my pancreas. Right now they're just still trying to do blood work and trying to get everything else situated
You're
because
echoing, Red.
Let me turn it off. Sorry.
And then,
All right, finish, Derek.
yeah, and then because of that, I became a type 1 diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have kidney problems. So it's just they're not sure what to start with.
Right. Wow. I'll keep you in prayer.
Thank you.
A lot.
So,
Yeah, we're praying, and his wife was sick for how long, Derek? She was out of work for about 3 weeks.
yep, month and a quarter, month and a half.
I call her wifey, so yeah, she's been like,
It's right there.
hey wifey,
How you guys doing?
good. I'm just coming in here to work. Looks like I'm getting a lot accomplished, don't it, you guys? Really. This is the first time Red's come up.
Yeah, it is.
Red, Monique, that you see in the chat all the time, she's blonde, and she usually keeps her hair cut just like yours, except it's blonde. I thought about that the other day. I was watching something and somebody's hair was cut that way. Hey, Hetty. And I was like, ooh, that would be cool to cut my hair like that. But mine's so thin. I don't know if it would do.
I went to an actual hair salon, because I usually just go to Great Clips. Because I go every month because this sides need to be shaved. And this part's long. And so that was good, and I might keep going there.
Well, I told my husband, I said, it won't cost me $25 for me to get my hair cut. I told him, I said, it's really bothering me because I have to keep it pulled up. So if I'm not, I'm laying on it and it's pulling. When I have it pulled up this way, it's pulling. So I'm like, I thought about just taking the scissors and cutting it and let it fall where it's going to fall. But then I can hear Tracy in my head screaming, no, don't do it.
I cut it myself at first.
And Casey, because anytime I get the scissors to hold my hair or my bangs,
Don't cut your bangs, Darlene.
My bangs, it's not pretty. It's let me see how long they are. So yeah, that's how long my bangs are, Denise.
I see them, but don't cut them.
I mean, what's wrong with cutting them with this?
You're danged if you do, you're danged if you don't.
Well, that's okay.
Leave them alone.
I'm gonna leave them alone.
My ex wouldn't let me have my hair short.
She had them cut up to here, y'all.
Or dye it a
cut
different color.
Down, where give them a little ways to. No, she cut them and they was all the way up here.
Stephen loves the red. Derek loves the blonde. After he saw pictures of me, hey, Ben. Ben said his whiskers are longer than my bangs.
They were.
Who's Derek now?
Derek is barn burner. I said burgers. He's the one up here with us.
Oh, okay.
He used to be NASCAR man.
Yep.
Yeah. He
Oh,
used to be
there's
up here all the
Casey.
time.
You guys, there's Casey.
Casey.
Hey,
Not
Casey.
showing up. There he is.
Hey, there's Ben.
Porch church.
Okay.
The porch church.
Yep.
Love you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's going into work, you guys. He took off and moved to
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, and he's just having all these exciting things happen.
Yep. He's closer to me now.
I know, Casey. You could go see Hetty. You could go see Derek. You could go see what was her name? She lives in Maine, Casey. Debbie. Debbie lives in Maine.
Debbie's closer to him because Maine's right next door.
Yeah. Yep. She was a friend of my sister-in-law here. She moved from Maine down here, lived in our house for a while, and then she ended up moving back to Maine. So Casey's got all kind of people up there he knows.
You missed the granny while she was gone. This girl been all over me. In the door.
But you guys, this is the kind of stuff I lay around. That's what I call my lace. But it's onion bag, I think.
It is.
And see, that's what I used.
Onions, potatoes, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I used on my hat I made. So I used stuff like that.
Pretty.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was actually from a cereal box
Cool.
I made. So I repurpose stuff.
Me
How's
too.
the baby doing? Ben's got a great grandbaby.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I talked to my my middle daughter this morning, Claire Bear.
How'd it go?
Yeah, she got in her house. Things are going well with her.
Very good.
It didn't go well with my youngest. I need prayer for my youngest, Lydia.
Will do.
Yep.
Because her husband, he sort of follows along what her sister, what Claire does. So now I'm concerned. I hope she doesn't have a baby because I feel like that's really young to have a baby. But she joined the military. Claire was in the army, and Claire's out now. And then Claire got married, and now Claire has a baby. So Lydia joined the Air Force. Lydia got married, and she's only 21.
Now, which is one you want prayer for?
Lydia.
Okay.
Lydia.
I got a text from her husband from her phone, and it was very disturbing.
Uh-oh.
She sent me questions. She wanted to know about generational trauma.
Yep.
And I know how she is, so I was concerned. I was like, I feel like she just wants answers to these questions, and then she's gonna blow me off again.
Yeah.
But I kept praying about it, and what was funny was, as I got sick with COVID, so I couldn't answer them as quickly as I would have. But I was brave. I was just like, I'm still going to answer them, and I'm going to be honest about things in the immediate, that aren't just way back, because she was asking all the questions. Who was abandoned, who left, who, even like who committed suicide, who was in jail.
Yep.
I answered her honestly about everything, in jail. A lot of them died early because my oldest brother died of heroin addiction, and then another brother died 6 months after that, and we believe it was a suicide. And just all of it, I was honest with her about all of it, and even about recent stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I was abandoned. I'm like, your brother was abandoned. From the rest of that, my ex, did that, turned them against me. So she was not happy about some of the things because I said something that she said to her sister, and her sister told me that, and she was not happy that I said that, and she wasn't ready, I guess, to hear that because it was a lie. It was something she told her sister that I did to her that wasn't true. And
Why?
so she got upset at me again, and then I got a text from her phone that was from her ex, and it was so disturbing, Darlene. It was so disturbing. I mean, it sounded like he was basically wanting me to
Yeah.
kill myself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will tell you, he was like, you need to understand that you are no longer needed. You have been all used up. This is what he said to me, and so I had to block my daughter's number.
Yeah.
And I emailed her again yesterday and said to her, I love you. I was like, I I didn't expect nor want to hear from your husband coming from your phone. I said, your father was so controlling and he never did anything like that. I said, now I'm very concerned. And I debated whether or not saying anything else, but this was in the email. And I said, please, if you ever want help getting away from this toxic person, contact me. Because I'm so concerned. I thought she was okay. I thought she was doing okay. And I was
Yeah.
like, I hope this guy she married is a nice guy. I didn't agree with my daughters marrying so young. That's what I did, but I didn't think they should do that.
Yeah.
They don't.
love you, Dee Dee.
Love you, Dee Dee. Hey, Sandy.
Love you, sweetheart.
But so
Hey,
anyway,
Sandy.
Why?
disturbing.
Why is like my parents' generation didn't want to talk about nothing? I didn't find out until later that I somewhere down the line had an uncle somewhere that or a great uncle that was a minister that committed suicide. I didn't know nothing about that. We didn't even talk about what my brother did.
Mhm.
We didn't talk when my little brother got ran over by a car. He was 3. We didn't talk about that.
Wow. Yeah, they don't talk about stuff.
And my sister was with him when it happened.
Oh my goodness.
She was 12. They blamed her.
So sad.
We
They
talk
blamed
about
her.
everything.
Oh, that's terrible.
And she lived, I mean, she has still had to live with that because the way my mom treated her and my dad treated her. It was like they blamed her. And all those years, I know that's why they were so bad to her.
Stop.
But nobody talked about nothing except me getting up in my sleep like I did and acting wild and crazy. But there had to be a reason that I did that. I mean, why I did that. My sister said when in California when I was leaving it still in like a baby bed, I would wake up screaming. My mom said it didn't happen until we moved out here to Alabama, but no, I remember doing that in California. But people don't talk about nothing. Even
it's not good.
Years.
And
My
then
mom didn't talk about nothing. Now my daddy and the rest of us and my dad's side of the family and all talked about everything and anything. It didn't matter. There weren't no limits. So as far as dad's side of the family, I know everything. My mom's now my granny, there were things that I learned like later on in life that I did not know ahead of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just weren't. They didn't talk about stuff much. But like I said, my dad's side of the family and my daddy and my brother and sister and I always talked about everything. It didn't matter.
and
There
did
are
you think
still
that seemed healthier, Denise?
my sister has secrets.
Denise.
Yeah, baby.
She asked ask her again, Red.
Did it seem healthier? Did it that part of the family that talked about things? Was it?
Oh yeah. Oh,
healthy?
my dad's side of the family, and all of us we're always very, very close, very tight knit.
Yeah,
Even
it seems that
Dad
way.
had 12 kids in his family. He was one of 12. And it just we were all so very close. And my mom, there was 2 boys and a girl, which was my mom, and they were very close-lipped. My mom was close-lipped. My mom was very,
Yeah, my
very
dad was. My mom was more trying to be healthy and talk about things.
Um,
I will tell you, the talk I got about, when you're growing up and things start happening to you,
Hmm.
this is stuff that you have to do when you get married. Hello.
yeah.
Very much. That was my talk.
Yeah.
My child and my boys, my daughter, my 2 boys, they know everything there was to
Yeah.
know by the time they was probably 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hid nothing. I didn't hide anything. Um, you know, being um I just my mom was very prim and proper. I'm not one of those prim and proper kind of people. I didn't care if I didn't walk around naked for the whole world to see me, but if my boys or daughter saw me, it's okay. It wasn't a big deal because they grew up that way. I made them grow up with the fact that you never be ashamed of your body. It doesn't matter. I don't want you ashamed of what God gave you.
I know, Denise, but you got to understand
Keep it covered.
your way and
We're covered. Covered. Yeah, our household was different. But
your
I'm just saying the way I raised my children
Yeah.
because things were so my mom was such a prude.
but when you say that, it makes me think of Kevin's
No,
ex-wife and
mm,
Brandy because
no, we were just open. This was just family talk. This is not, you don't go out there and spread this kind of stuff around the neighborhood to everybody and their brother.
Right.
This is just the way they were raised. And I didn't want any woman
yeah,
sneaking up on my son trying to tell them crap.
yeah,
I didn't want my daughter growing up with some man trying to come around and telling her crap. I want them to know. I grew up not knowing diddly, and it was not good. It was
yeah,
bad. I didn't want my kids growing up like that.
yeah.
Mhm.
But there's a difference with all right,
And I understand that.
Kevin's ex-wife would just walk around with nothing around her
Oh, I
kids,
know. And
and
my dad
Brandy,
was always clothed. Okay. He always had a pair of underwear and a t-shirt. It wasn't a big deal. My husband walked around in a pair of drawers and a t-shirt. But that's them.
yeah,
I didn't walk around my house without nothing. I was always dressed, walking around my house. What I'm talking about, if my kids walked in my bedroom or
yeah,
walked in the bathroom with me,
Yeah.
not being clothed, it was not a big deal because I wanted them to understand it's okay. I'm in my bathroom or I'm in my bedroom. Stuff like this is privacy.
Right.
Y'all aren't invading my privacy because to me, you're my children and it's okay. But do I want my dad walking in on me?
Heck no.
Well, it probably wouldn't bother me.
well,
But that's me. That's just me.
but see, it's like before Denise come down, I went and got Kevin a couple pairs of shorts
Yeah.
and some t-shirts without
Yeah.
sleeves.
Yes.
And the curtain I
Well,
have behind me actually goes to our room. And if anybody's in the house, I would just pull that curtain and the half door behind me, I'll just kind of close
Yeah.
it a little bit where he has privacy in his
Right.
bedroom.
Right.
But when nobody's here, but like Tiffany, we just keep it open.
Well, that's what I'm
But
saying. It's privacy. It's not. I wouldn't want my nephew walking in on me.
well, bless
I
her
don't want
heart.
my brother walking in on me.
Well, Brandy one time was here, and I was in the and I'm gonna just tell it because she would. I
That's
was in the
different,
kitchen at
Darlene.
the sink, and she turned. She said, "Darlene, does this look normal?" When I turned around, that girl had one arm over here, her boobs, panties, and nothing else. And all I could think about, I looked behind her, and I'm like, "Oh my God! If Keithan walks through here, he's going to be so embarrassed." And that, I mean, that's our oldest. She's 40.
But
And
still, yeah.
Casey told me, he said, "Mom, did you think I want her walking around like that in my bedroom? That's my sister." And when they spent the night, Brandy and her daughter was 18 at the time, they slept with Casey on his
Oh
bed.
Lord,
Oh my gosh, yeah. And Brandy
it's
had
like
everything
that.
falling out of her shirt. He said, "Mom, never again. Never again." So I didn't raise my kids to walk around like that.
Well, I didn't mind either.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying, Denise, you really have to clarify because
I'm sorry. I apologize.
no, I mean,
It was in the confines of my own bedroom or my own bathroom,
yeah.
and that's
I mean,
all.
I knew what you was talking about, but
It's
there's some
it's fine.
that
But
would,
no, I did not walk around the house because my door was always open to everybody.
yeah,
So no, 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 none of that. None of that.
yeah.
Alvin wore a pair of shorts if he was home and a t-shirt because my nieces and all would come over. So yes, we were always fully clothed. Don't get that. Alvin wasn't gonna be naked, no way. He wouldn't go to bed naked. He had to have clothes on.
Well, me too, because I got up in my sleep.
Well,
So
yeah, I guess so.
that was something that I never,
But
uh,
yeah, my door was always closed. My bathroom door was always closed. It
um,
wasn't like that. It just was that was just our home. But what
well,
I was trying to get to the point was is my kids are very open and they talk a lot to me. We've always had a very
yeah,
open relationship. Um, I couldn't talk to my mom about stuff. I and my dad was in the military, so it wasn't a lot of times I could talk to him because he wasn't available to talk to.
yeah,
Um, but I wanted my kids to always know that I was the one they could always talk to.
yeah. Well, my
Um,
mom was so negative. There was, if she talked about any like family,
oh
uh,
yeah,
she always was negative about everything.
Turned off.
Now I have to wonder half the stuff she told me about my dad's side of the family, how much was true. And then her side of the family, my aunts that married her brothers, how much of that was the truth. You see what I'm saying, Red? Now I have to, because of
yeah,
stuff she would say about me that didn't happen. So
yeah.
I come from a negative.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not.
see,
I,
before I was afraid to say anything to them because, they were all mad at me, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't say anything.
yeah,
And then I found out when I went to Georgia and saw my oldest daughter, and I said, the last time I saw Lydia was in 2019, September 1st, 2019. And then my daughter says to me, "Yeah, she said you said something that made her cry and she left the restaurant in tears." And I was like, that didn't happen. And then my oldest gets mad at me. He's like, "You called Lydia a liar." And I'm like, that's not what happened. What do you want me to say? Oh yeah, yeah, I did that. I'm not gonna. And it's ridiculous because I was so afraid and just wanting them to include me in their lives, and they were all, pushing me away and excluding me. And she did that to me and said, can we go get dinner? And we went to Panera in 2019, and then she just disappeared from my life. I would go to the And this is why I left Georgia because, you know, I
Yeah.
was there near 3 of them, and my younger son had left at that point, gone to here to Denver, and I was near the 3 of them, my oldest 2 and my youngest, and I wasn't seeing them at all. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here. This is killing me.
Yeah.
Good. I
Horrible.
will tell you this. My oldest son lives about 10, 15 minutes away from me. I saw him, I maybe see him once a year, maybe.
Mm.
I know he's busy. I know his wife is busy. But when his dad passed away last year, I had not seen him for a year since when his dad passed away. It had been a year.
Hmm.
1 year. I talked to him once in a while. He would text me. Um, but he didn't call very often. Most of the time I did the calling.
Yeah.
He didn't come. I knew he had a hard time coming to the house because his dad died here at the house. And he saw his dad laying on the floor, which I did not know
Mm.
before they took him out. I
Mm.
didn't know that. So he was having a hard time. And I understood he was having a hard time. And I tried to tell him that, you know, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, his thing was, Mom, anytime you want to come, let me know. I'll come get you. Well, this is my
That's right.
home. I was trying to recover from.
Yeah.
It took me over a year to get to the point where I could function like I know. I just started driving probably in the last 6 months, and that's very short trips. The longest trip was today, and by myself. And they didn't let me drive by myself to begin with. The only time I've ever drove by myself is to the corner right here, and that's like maybe 100 yards away.
Well,
And it's and I understood, but I'm like, your mom's not well, and I can't get to you. I
yeah.
can't be at your house because I need to be at my home where I can
Mhm.
lay down in my own bed and not hurt.
Yeah.
And not, I was struggling. I was really struggling. Not
Yeah.
only was I struggling health wise, I was struggling emotionally wise because my husband died here with me. It was just me and him. And I've been with him for 43 years.
Yeah.
And I kind of was at a loss of what to do with myself. I was handling it very well, but still inside emotionally, I was torn up. I just don't like people to see how I feel on the outside. I don't like it. I'm
Mhm.
bad about holding, but I learned that a long time ago as a little child because my mom was very negative to me all the time.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
never did anything right
Yeah.
in
My
my
dad
life
was the negative one.
that I can ever remember. Nothing I did was right, according to my mother. She would clean up behind me because I didn't clean up good enough for her. I didn't put my clothes up good enough for her. My mom has pulled my clothes out of my drawer and made me refold them all, even though I fold them like she taught me how. Wasn't good enough.
Mm. Yeah,
She
my
pulled
dad
clothes
was
out of the
one.
closet. She pulled my
Nothing.
shoes out of the closet because they weren't exactly like she thought they ought to be. And I had to refold stuff. And this kind of stuff was not seen by everybody. Most time it was just me and her around when she would do this stuff. And what am I supposed to say? I didn't say anything because I really thought I was wrong.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you internalize
And
all that stuff.
then,
Yeah.
I as a teenager I did a lot of sports. So now I will tell you, when you do a lot of sports, especially I played basketball, I was on the swim team, I was on the dive team. You
Wow.
got to understand, I ran track, I ran a mile, develop muscles. So you're bigger. I'm a bigger bone person than the rest of my family, but I also had muscle on top of this. I mean, you ever seen a swimmer or a diver that doesn't have the big legs, the muscular legs and stuff?
Mhm.
And mom used to say I was fat. She was constantly putting me on a diet. My brothers and sister would call me fat because she called me fat. I wasn't fat.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Oh Lord, I gotta quit talking. Here comes my dad. Dad, dad
Well,
didn't get any of that stuff. He didn't hear.
I'm really thankful for my younger son that was here. He got me an orchid for my birthday.
Oh, Red, that's beautiful.
Let me see.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he got me an orchid and some chocolates. We went out to eat, and he was sick, and then I went out of town, and then I went out of town, and then I was sick. So we hadn't seen each other for like a month. His birthday was a month ago. His birthday was September 14th, and mine's October 13th. So
Happy late birthday.
thank you.
Okay.
So we
Darling,
went out to eat for his birthday and my birthday on
I'm
Wednesday.
gonna go so I can visit with Dad.
Okay, tell him I love him.
I will. I love you, Red.
Love you too.
Great to see you, sweetheart.
Great to see you.
She's gonna visit with Pops.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a blessing that he's still
Yeah, he gets
here.
around real good. But yeah, I mean, we all deal with how I was raised, and then we try to take those things and do better or
Yeah.
share more and explain more.
And when I wrote to her, when I answered all these questions, I apologized like all throughout because I know that there were times I abandoned her and I didn't mean to, but there were times when I abandoned her, and I know that that had an effect on her. So I
Well,
apologized.
Tiffany always answers completely truth to her son, to my grandson, when he asked about when they got separated, from each other. And he turned 18 on the 12th.
Wow.
I turned 58 on the 10th. The 12th, he
Yeah.
turned 18. And then my cousin had a birthday yesterday. I called her last night.
Happy belated birthday to you.
How old are you, if I can ask?
56.
Okay. My brother would have been 56. He had pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
So he didn't even make it to 50. My other brother was 34 when he did what he did. So three of my only three brothers are gone.
Yeah. I had
And my dad.
I had 5 brothers and only one is still living. And yeah.
That's why I told my mom, I said, you only have 3 kids left. And you push one completely away. And I said, and at the time, it was a bad time for me and her, which I'm okay now. I had to really let the anger, hey, Darlene, I had to let a lot of that go because stuff like that only eats at you. And the other person usually don't have a clue, But that's why I told her. I said, and then you're being this way to me. You're pushing me away too. I mean, and I just told her I used to not. And then I'd hang up. If she ever got talking about my son bad, I would just hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to cut things off with my sister. I mean, my brother, when we lost our fourth brother, she calls me, and I already had her number blocked because she said stuff about my son. She doesn't even have any kids, and she's making me feel worse. I'm going through a tough time with my oldest son. Yeah, he still needs prayer, but I did talk to him yesterday, which was nice. I wasn't sure he would text me, and he did text me. Um,
You know, um, so many with you and with Jen. A lot of prayers have been answered. A
yeah,
lot of prayers are
definitely with my Claire Bear, yeah, and I talked to her today, but I'm still like, and now especially since this thing happened with Lydia, and she gave me all these questions, and she asked me all these questions,
yeah,
and I decided, I prayed about it, and I decided to just go ahead, just lay it on the line, be honest with her. She asked,
yeah,
because I haven't even really talked through things with Claire. And with my oldest daughter, we sort of reconciled together, but then we didn't talk about anything.
yeah,
And then she sends me Mother's Day gift, and she had told me when she got engaged, and she said she wanted me to come to the wedding, and then all of a sudden she just doesn't invite me to the wedding, and I'm like, well, what happened? And I thought, well, maybe this is good that Lydia is starting out with these questions, and I'll answer them, and it will be better because we'll work through what happened. Why were we not talking? But that's not what happened. And then she said, she didn't want to hear these bad things about people. And then I was like, Lydia, you don't make any sense. You sent me these questions that were basically, tell me everything, and then you're saying, I don't want to hear you talk bad about any. So I felt like entrapped.
yeah,
I felt like entrapped, because I told her, and then she's like, I think she didn't want me to include her,
yeah.
what happened between us. She just wants all the past, and you know.
It's like when I went to see my mom on Mother's Day, and I was there. Like I told my sister, oldest sister, I was there 2 hours, and I was fine. But she would bring up. I know she had said something about that my husband didn't want to marry me, and he didn't want the obligation of Tiffany because she was a year old when I met him. He adopted her. And she said, yeah, he didn't want to get married because he didn't want to be stuck with paying child support on 2 kids. Look, prayer works. Because I just looked at her and I said, Mom, you're getting things confused. That was Wayne. That was my first husband. That was him. That wasn't Keith. Oh, no, no. Keevan told us he didn't want to marry you. I said, Mom, you're just, and I said, Mom, you're just confused. That wasn't Keevan. It didn't hurt my feelings. I just told her that and I left. It used to, it would have hurt my, used to, that probably would have, I would have been crying. But
I find I'm getting like a lot tougher. Like I try to listen to Joyce Meyer every day, and I was just listening to her, and she's like, the devil's trying to do this stuff to you, but it's just making you stronger.
yeah,
And I'm like, because like when this thing happened with Lydia, and I kind of knew, I said to my son, because I told him about it when we went to eat, and I said to my son, I was like, I know you guys, I know you guys, and I right off the bat, when Claire contacted me, you guys know about that. When Claire contacted me, I knew it was real.
yeah,
And I knew she's not going to jerk me around like the others do,
yeah,
because they'll be like, Mom, like I really feel like my oldest son, he wants some of the money from his grandfather. And so, but he's so disrespectful. And I talked to Diana Brienne, and she's just very wise, and
Oh,
she's
yeah, she is.
she's like when that disrespect is there, she's like, yeah, stop, it stops, you can't be a doormat, she was just
Yeah.
like, I cut off anything that I'm giving out when the disrespect starts, and
Yeah.
you know
Well,
so it's hard, and I want to help him, but I'm sitting there thinking like, no, I can't, because he's just, I finally came to the conclusion, and it was hard for me to admit this, but my oldest two children have been abusive to me, and my youngest at a time, my youngest slapped me. I mean, and yeah, she was going through a lot, because she was at home, and my oldest son with his problems was at home when I moved out of the house. Her and my oldest son were there, and then um, and I felt like I abandoned her, and then in this thing I wrote to her, I said, I apologize for that too. I'm like, I had to get out of the house because my child was abused. My son is 6'4", 225 pounds, and I had to, get out
yeah.
of the house when he got angry, and so then I moved out of the house, and then she ended up having to move out of the house too, because my ex, he wouldn't discipline him or do anything to make him
And
behave.
how old is he?
He's 32.
So yeah, he's my son's age. Casey's 33.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's working now, and he contacted me yesterday. So he's working, but he says he's doing the same. So that tells me that he's still struggling. He has a lot of anxiety and depression that he deals with.
That's how Casey was. So he worked from his room, and he'd been doing that for quite a while.
What was he doing?
Tech support. It was contracted. These companies were contracted out like to Apple.
Yeah.
So he would do Apple Care, as they call it.
Wow.
Now,
Well, my son he went to University of Georgia, but he didn't finish. But he's like really, really super smart.
yeah, that's how
He can
Casey
do
is.
lots of stuff. He's really, really super
And
smart.
so when he just took off, I said took off and spread his wings. When he got to New Hampshire, he already had a job, and actually for the Apple store. So he'll get all the benefits and the pay, good
Wow,
pay.
that's good.
And then for 6 months, they'll have him as seasonal, is what he said, before he'll get to go to the tech support, which would be about $13 more an hour. But I said, son, take those few months and, save up your money. He said in a couple of paychecks, he should be able to get down payment for a car. So I said, get your car, ease into your finding you an apartment, because right now he's what they call it, couch surfing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they told him, just help on groceries. They're real good. I mean, he was at their house all the time when they lived down here. He gamed with his friend all the time. So I felt good about him going up there. I really did.
Good.
Yeah, I grieved. I won't lie, because he's like me, and Tiffany's like her dad. So they don't do a lot of chatty Cathy, with me. My husband cut the TV off last night, and I said, it's not important. Just cut the TV back on. I won't talk. Just cut the TV back on. But, that's
Even
all.
Casey's dad?
Kevin's Casey's dad. Yeah. And he adopted Tiffany. So we've got 3. And we really don't think of it as his, mine, and ours. It's, you get to a point when your kids get a certain age, if they accept you and they love you like you love them, like the oldest daughter does. And she tells people, I have 2 moms. And this mom taught me this. So anything like somebody will say a good compliment, and she said, well, I got that from my other mom. So now it's not step this or that.
Oh, that's nice. So that's Brandy.
Yeah. And then Kevin adopted Tiffany, so that's the only daddy she knows. I mean, she's a year old when me and him got together. And Brandy always treated her more like a sister than what she did Casey. Brandy did Casey. And when he's little, he worshipped the ground she walked on. And then they end up, as they grew up, they looked just alike. She said she often wondered if she belonged in the Crawley family because she didn't look like anybody. And she said, nope. By Casey's first school pictures, she said she knew right away. And the 2 of them now, they were sitting across from each other the Sunday before Casey left. He left on the next day, so we all got together to eat. And my grandson was sitting by his mom on the other side, and he was looking at Brandy. Sat by me. Casey was across from her, so my grandson was looking at Casey and looking at her, looking at Casey and looking at her. And he told Tiffany, he said, Mom, they look just the same. And he got laughing because they do. But look, I told him, I said, Casey, you remind me of, there's a comedian. He goes by Southern Mama.
Oh, really?
You have to look, go to YouTube, Southern Mama. He's this guy pretend to be a Southern Mama. And it's so funny because it's so accurate. So when my son is talking to me, I'm on FaceTime and I can see his facial expressions. And he'll say, oh, no, you don't. Get over here and sit down. And then he'll tell another because they're like 2 and 3. And then I think 17 and 18. So she had these boys that far apart. And so watching his facial expressions, dealing with 2 little boys, it tickles me. Sometimes I have to do a screenshot of him. And I said, so now I get to see what it would have been like if you would have had kids. But yeah.
Well, Casey could still have kids, right?
Well, oh no. You guys, Derek is being sent to the ER per the doctor's request. So yeah, prayers for Derek, you guys. He's got pneumonia.
Who? Okay.
The one that was up here earlier, Derek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got pancreatic cancer. So he's catching. It doesn't take much for him to get sick, and that's why I told him you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But what'd you ask about Casey? Oh, about kids. Casey does not like women. He loves them, but not that way.
Oh.
But he struggles with the other because Casey the reason we got what's called Porch Church is because that's what he started. And he was, we was going through the Bible. the whole Bible from, and he would read and we'd discuss. And a lot of people, like Darlene B, and a lot of people um, know him from that. Like Diana Brienne, she used to watch
Mhm.
it, and the one that was on here, Delusional Dispel, I call her Dee. She used to watch it, and there was a lot of people that did.
Mhm.
And but when it would come to things like when he'd come to things like that, he would stop and he would say that yes, he's not attracted to women. Yes, he's attracted to men, but because he goes by what's in his heart,
Mhm.
he can't go there. He
Mhm.
so
Yeah. I
he he did go through the stage of dating, um, and my husband didn't know it because
dating men or dating women.
no, he dated guys when he first
Uh-huh.
moved out, but it's like when my husband used to see him with his friends that were girls that would come from school, and they would be, this was his bedroom, and they would be like in here laughing, "Hey, Terry," but they'd be in here laughing, and he'd probably be tickling them and all that. And my husband just thought that they were together.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it was our oldest that told Kevin.
My brother, my brother Paul was like that.
And it's lonely. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard. And I changed really my views when I got upset about, my kids not talking to me, and I was so depressed. Um, I was almost suicidal, and then I sort of acted out because I was such a goody goody for years, and I had only been with my husband because all my kids are. I was with my husband for 30 years. And he was a vulnerable narcissist, but he was really, so he's really nice at sometimes too. And I feel like my oldest kids are so angry because, they thought we were going to stay together forever. And, I made them think that too, that we were going to stay together forever. So I think that's why they just seem very angry.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, when I went through my thing, when I was away from God, I sort of threw the baby out with the bathwater, and I
Yep.
didn't like I didn't like the conservative politics anymore. I hate talking politics, but um, and when I came out the other side and came back to God, I'm more like a progressive Christian now because I was just like, why do we care if the gays get married or not? And I was just like, are they maybe born with that tendency? And my mom, and then I realized my mom, we were Presbyterian, we grew up Presbyterian. And I realized looking back, and then when I was in Georgia, I ended up, in the Baptist church and very conservative. And then my mom and I would argue politics. And thankfully, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, we both love Jesus. Like, why are we arguing politics? And I buried the hatchet on that purposely.
Christians will
Let's not
want
talk about it.
Christians will want to fight somebody when it comes to politics, and that's why
Not really.
I don't do it.
Mm-mm.
And Casey
No,
was
it doesn't have
really,
anything to do with Jesus.
he was put
Right.
down by people because they said, "Well, why do you vote this way if you're gay?" So there's things that he doesn't agree with, and it's aggravating him right now. Some of the things that's going on with children, um, that makes him angry. So people, try to put him in this category, but I know he's not in that category. Oh, Darling B, nope, nope, nope. Ain't gonna let no devil steal my joy.
Mm.
Uh, this last week we had 2 revival days at my church and 2 at Keevan's, and that was one of the things that they said, don't let anybody steal your joy.
Yeah. So I told my youngest Lydia is Lydia Ellen for my mom. And I told her, I honestly, I hadn't talked to her for 3 years, so she didn't know that unless I don't know how much of if my kids are watching my YouTube and I'm kind of honest with things like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if they are or not. But anyways, I know I hadn't told her, but I told her I, walked away from God and that now when I came back to God, I'm more of a progressive Christian. And I said, your grandmother, my mom, that she's named for her middle name is Ellen for my mom. I said she was a progressive Christian before it was a thing, you know. So that's what I consider myself now.
Well, at church, um, my cousin, that's where Kevin joined. I would have, but God led me to the other church first. But like she said, you've got to love the person. Um, she had somebody come in her shop. She has like a dress shop or a clothing shop. And she had somebody come in the other day and dressed feminine, but he didn't. He was dressed feminine,
Mm-hmm.
and he come in and she treated him with kindness. And he said, out of all the stores, because it's like a little, how the old towns used to have the street that all the little shops would be on either side of the road. But anyway, he said her shop was the first one he'd went in that somebody treated him like a person.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's what Jesus was all about. Jesus was
yeah,
all about love, not.
so they had church up in there. She said she prayed for them. They cried. They had church. And so she was telling, the congregation, she said, don't look at me sideways. We have to love the
Mm-hmm.
people, the individual,
Yeah. Yeah.
because, we all sin. I sin. Yes, Darlene said we are to love all. We are not to judge. Um,
Yeah. Do
but
not judge. That's in Matthew 17.
yes,
You'll
because
get it. You'll get it right back at you. With the same measure you use will be measured back to you.
yes,
You know.
and that's why one reason I got up and come on in here, even if it was to move some stuff around, uh, and to get on, because this is what God has put me to do. When I shut myself off in that bedroom during the day, and I'm watching something, I could be in the Word. I could be studying the Word like I know I'm supposed to. That's what He has put in my heart to do. So when I'm not doing that, Red, when I'm not doing that, if I'm just watching random TV shows and I'm not doing what God has called me to do, well, you know what? That is a huge sin
Mhm.
because I'm sinning against God. I'm sinning against what He has put me to do.
Yeah.
So, if the worst person you can think, because some people will say, well, somebody that's murdered somebody or they've done this or this. Well, sin is sin.
Yeah. It's
And,
true.
and I know what He wants me to do. So I get attacked, like my cousin says, she's going to come in and go through. She said there's a recipe, is what she called it in the Word, to come in and cleanse a house the way they would cleanse them over in the Holy Land. Biblical,
Mhm.
the way to clean a house. She said, because I feel like you're under attack.
Mhm.
The more I do this, and then my body, I get sick.
Mhm.
I go to church and I'm really being touched and led to what I need to do. And then bam, I can't get out of bed.
Mm.
Or or I just want to, oh, Pop said he loves me too.
Oh,
But hiding out in my room and not talking to anybody, Red, some people can say, well, that's just some type of depression. But, I, ah, no, I'm not going to raise a bunch of chickens. Our dog does that enough, Darling B. Our outside dog. He starts barking at nighttime and he doesn't stop. But so yeah, my cousin, she also goes to the prisons. She does prison ministry. She's been doing it for, I think she said, 20 years.
wow. Yeah, I used to go to jails.
So she said the last time she went, it was a confining room and there was a lot of them in there. And she said one of them was just tall and he loomed over her. And she said there was a little step up for her to lead from. And she said the biggest guy in there come up to her. And she said he just had tears running.
Wow.
And he got saved. So she said, I'm talking about murderers, rapists, just whatever they had done to get in a real bad prison, that things were just melting away. So their sin that they're locked away for, mine isn't less than theirs, if that makes sense, Red. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it.
Yeah. That's in the Bible. For all sinned,
Yeah, and fall short of the glory of God. So Denise knows if I'm not feeling good, if I don't answer FaceTime. But I love doing this, Red. I need to get all of this arranged because I want to start creating again. I used to love that Friday I would wear my creations, my hats.
Mm-hmm.
I would create them and wear them on, Fridays. And we had a lot of fun doing it. And so now everything is not in a orderly way that I can just put my hands on whatever medium I want to create with. Darlene B, I would love to have an attack rooster, a couple of them.
Oh, those mean, they're mean. Until they attack you, though.
But I tell you, my husband's having a hard time. His back, he come home with his back hurting so bad.
Oh,
And he laid down and he woke up. He couldn't even hardly move. And he had to walk up, his hands on the wall to stand up straight.
mm-hmm.
I do that just about every morning.
Mm.
And he showed me where his back was hurting. And I said, well, I can honestly say 100% I know the pain you're having. So Casey used to go and do our dog outside. He would feed and water him. And then, of course, our raccoon, Keithan feeds her every day, and I have to go up there and clean her cage. So he hurt so bad that he's about to retire, Red. He's about to retire.
What work does he do?
He works right across the street. It's city utilities. And he was working on what they call the ground crew. He would go out if there was a pothole or if there was a manhole that he needed to go in to fix something, he did. Cement work, they usually got him to do it because he was very good at it. If a guardrail needed welding, he would go weld it. But now he pretty much works in the shop, which is sometimes laying flat on the cement, repairing something on one of the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
He
So,
works too hard and lifts too many heavy things.
yes. He tore, what was it he tore that time in his arm? He tore something in his arm because they were putting something on the truck, real heavy. It should have been done differently. And it started falling, and he tried to help it. And it tore something in his arm. I've never seen my husband cry with pain. He was at the ER, and he was crying.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, ever seen him like that. So he does, I call it a young man's work.
Yeah.
But the young men aren't working hard like that anymore, Red.
Mm-hmm.
And when he leaves, I don't know who's going to take, I said, well, you can't worry about it, baby.
It won't be him.
They'll be calling him. I guarantee they will call him. And
Check number.
he won't. He'll help them out. He'll help them out.
Did you change it?
But I did tell him, I said, well, baby, when you retire, he should come out like in May. I said, we can't Netflix our lives away. I said, we need to get your garage cleaned out. I'll help you because a lot of it's my junk that needs to be thrown away. We'll clean it out so you'll be able to work on things. Red, he has a grill out there. I made a video about it. He has a grill out there that he got metal. How would you call it, Denise? He got some kind of metal that was about this big around. And he got out there and he cut it and he made a door. He's making a grill. And that sucker is so heavy he had to hoist it up from the hoist and put these roller things up under it, heavy duty roller things, so that way he could work on it and move it around. And it's a smoker grill.
He don't play.
No, anything he makes is going to last
forever.
Yes. So he's doing that, and I told him, well, if your cousin don't want it, you can sell it.
Yeah.
Good and well, especially in the South, Red, you got redneck people.
Oh yeah.
That do some heavy duty grilling, or the people that do it
or smoking, whatever.
The people that do it for what would you I've watched these grill masters to where they compete. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They compete in their barbecuing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me and my ex would do that. We both caught almost caught the porch on fire. He made a hole for the smoker in the porch. I wonder if he's patched it up yet. And then I caught the grill on fire because I used it so much and it needed to be cleaned out. And
that happens if you don't clean it.
Yeah, it happened with I put foil in the bottom of my little grill I got here. I got a little grill so I could fit it in my Rav, but I put foil in the bottom of it. But I do shish kebab, and it's so much the fat drips, and I realized I can't line it with the foil because it all caught fire.
Yeah,
I'm like, I have to clean this out again.
Or you can poke enough holes in it and then have something to catch it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite grills was one that somebody left on the side of the road, and it was propane type. But I took all that out and used it for charcoal. I love that that little old beat up thing, and that's what I would use when I cook. Keegan ended up giving that one away. I'm like, why did you give that away? That was mine. Well, I'm going to get us a new one. I said, but I liked that one. So he made one out of, well, no, he got somebody that knew how to, that had the stuff to do stainless. Because
Yeah.
he doesn't
No, he
do,
works with iron and
yeah, he doesn't
stuff.
do that type. But he still, I think he still has that one out there. It was huge. It was huge.
Yeah,
But
you go back and look on her page. It's
but
showing. Yeah,
but
it's
we used to
nice.
do cookouts, and we had the pool, and we would the whole summer we would grill out, and people would come over every weekend.
Yeah, we used to do
We
that too.
we don't have that
Can you
anymore.
see it? Can you see my grill?
Oh yeah, see, for you that's perfect.
Yeah, it fit in the back of my Rav.
Yeah.
I got it at my son's, and this is my
Oh, look
pool.
how pretty.
Yeah, I really like it here.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks so
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
it's expensive though. So I got a 6 months lease. Y'all, I have to get going on making money on my writing or my YouTube, or I'm gonna have to get a real job.
I
So
know.
pray for me because
Will
I
do.
will. I will
it's too
because
expensive to stay here, but I really love it, and I
I
wish
need
I could.
some extra income, and I have so many things to make, and I can sell them. I just um if I don't get things in order, then I can't have that creativity start back, because it's up here.
Yeah,
I would catch these images. I'll catch these images, and I want to get my pastels down and put them on paper.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, and
so
I'm really thankful for my inheritance, the money from my mom and dad, but I don't have any money coming in enough for this rent, and um, thankfully I only have my car payment. That's only debt I have right now. But my son's like, "Don't spend all the money, mom." Okay, I won't.
well,
But a lot of places are hiring around here, so I could. And I've been thinking, but I'm like, then I won't have the time for my writing and my YouTube either. So it's kind of like, God, I'm praying like,
Well, we'll just pray with you, sweetie.
mhm.
Hey,
yeah,
listen,
thank you.
God is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
stop.
really think God's plan before, when I couldn't find a regular job,
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it
fine.
wasn't His plan,
yeah,
and I was trying. And two, so yeah, and I really do feel like I'm going in the right direction. And it's like when you're going in the right direction, things will work out.
yeah.
They
Um,
do.
it's like Friday night. It was Friday night. This woman pastor preached, and then the Saturday night her husband did. But it was like Friday night. Me and Kevin and Tiffany, we all went together, and I just went. I went up there during the praise and worship, and just got on my knees and left. It was like I felt like I was grieving for everything, and I just poured out everything
Mm,
that I was trying to cut. As women, we try to fix it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
when we try to fix it
exactly.
and pick up things that God is already doing in our lives, we
Mhm,
are unnecessarily carrying a burden that
yeah,
we keep picking it right back up. But
yeah,
there was a lot of stuff. I just grieved it all out. I left it with him, and it's like when we were doing bills, because when Casey was home, he did over $300 a month for us, and we got a big truck payment.
Yep.
We had to have a vehicle, and I prayed on that too before we went. I said, "Well, Lord, you know what our finances are. If we're not going to be able to afford to make payments, just make it where we can't get it."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's happened when Kevin has gone to dealerships and say, "I have no money down. Work with me."
Yeah,
So
honey, we prayed hard over that truck.
yeah, and it's a big payment.
Yeah, I
But
prayed hard. I didn't have the money from my dad yet when
yep,
I got my
yep,
RAV, and I didn't think I could get a loan.
yep.
So
I
I
think
didn't have any income
it was about
Yeah.
the same time
hardly.
in the red. You got your truck first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got ours. So Casey was worried about what we was going to do um, without him paying that. And it was amazing because this week we sat there and he told me what to pay, and I had to just thank the Lord because I'm like, how did we do this? I absolutely. He told me what to pay, and I'm like, wait a minute, how did we do this? How
God.
did we? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, and when you see the fruit of what you ask Him for,
Mm-hmm.
it is the most amazing thing.
Yeah. And I settled at first because I was in St. Louis, and I had sold my car right after I bought my RV.
Yep.
So I didn't have a car. So when I sold my RV, I had nothing. I was using my friend's car occasionally, and I was thankful to her for her letting me use that. And then I got involved with this man I knew before, and it was good because it helped me, and I felt like it was God. But then I got too involved with him than I should have. And then my check for my RV wasn't clearing. Right. And so I'm like, how am I going to get to Denver? I want to move to Denver, and I don't have any money, and I'm not getting the money from my dad yet. And this check is not clearing. What am I going to do? So this guy,
Girl, we prayed over you too, Red.
yeah, and everything did work out, but I did buy this used vehicle from him. But, I was back with God, and I kept on going, something is not right with this. I kept having this check, like something is not right. And I still don't know what it is exactly. I was
Yep.
like, well, I was able to get the tags on it, but he was too anxious for me to take this car to Denver. You know what I mean? He wanted
Yeah.
me to take it to Denver, and I'm like, was it stolen? Or I think it might have been something that was totaled out and wasn't supposed to be on the road anymore, or something like that. But and then he changed. And when we did get the tags on it, he changed something. He changed the date, and um, the person he bought it, her name was Susan. And so it was just, I'm like, this is just not right. And this is not right. And I did pay him like $3,000 for it. And I was out that money. And then I'm just like, I'm not feeling comfortable with this. So I want to try and buy something. And I
Yeah.
did. And I left there, and it all worked out. But
Mhm.
I'm not expecting to see that $3,000 back. I mean, I
Yeah.
wish I could, but and I told my son about it. And
Well, and that's why I'm saying when we take something to Him,
Yes.
and then we turn right around and we do something on our own,
yeah, See, that's
And
it. That is what it was. That's
yeah,
what it was
and then when it
exactly.
falls apart, the flesh part thinks, well, God, why'd you let that happen? I asked for a vehicle and you gave me that because we act too
I'm
fast
I'm
sometimes.
rushing ahead. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what happened with my book too, with my elephant book. And when I got ripped off by the vanity, I didn't even know what a vanity publisher is, and I hate that word vanity. And that would have checked me right there if I realized, well, this is a vanity publisher, and you're paying them to do it, and it's like, why, and I was rushing ahead of God.
Yeah.
And I put that on my YouTube because
But we do that. We
yeah, I
do
rushed
that
ahead
a
of
lot.
God, and then I got ripped off.
Yep.
And we've
And
got
so
to it
Uh,
listen,
you
it's
gotta
because we
wait.
still have that free will that he gave
Yeah.
us. And a lot of time that free will that we have is like we do make steps we shouldn't make.
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes I know sometimes people think that I am a procrastinator, but it's not so much that as it is I'm waiting. There's
Sometimes it
going to
is good
be
to wait.
better because God is going to make it better, which I know He will. But still, in my head, I'm thinking, well, maybe, because people will say things,
yeah.
and it's like, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I am wrong. And then it's like, but Denise, you can't be wrong if you stop and you've given it to God. God has not shown you. Yes, there are people who are coming to you say, well, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you? But it's like, you're not in my life. You're not part of my life. You're not part of what, even though I know God talks to you through other people and through
Mm,
different ways. I know that. I understand that. But this was like, they're thinking, needs to be done now, now, now. No, it needs to be done in God's time, not my time, and
exactly.
certainly not your time.
That's what, when I was going through, I thought I had everything in a row because I knew from my doctors and what they were saying was that I needed to come out of work. The medicines I was taking, sitting for 8 hours
Hmm.
in a chair, and it got to where um, Kevin would wake me up sometimes. He'd say, "Baby, you might as well call in." See, I wouldn't realize how restless I was sleeping, how much I was hurting, and I was having to call out so much. So the doctor went ahead and
Stop.
told me to come out. Well, I had disability from work, so I thought I had sick time. So I used my sick time, and they did not let me use my work disability. And somebody said they do it all the time. That's the hardest to get because that insurance company don't want to have to pay you until you retire.
Yeah.
So it took me 5 years, Red, and I went through all kind of
To get
things.
your Social Security.
Yeah, and then there was other things going on at the same time. So my depression and everything was off the charts. And to begin with, I didn't have this out to do this. Um, when Casey started on the internet and he started selling jewelry, then he started doing the Bible reading online, well, on Facebook and online. Little by little, I come out of my shell. And that's why Dwayne was there the whole time. Mothership, he was there the whole time, and Darlene B.
Yeah.
Um, and little by little, he got me to this place right here. But like you said, um, there was one time my rheumatologist said, "Are you sure that I can let you leave this office?" And you not do anything to yourself. Because when I went in, I was a mess.
Mhm.
I was a mess, and I just told her everything that was going on with me, and I didn't want to be here.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I went
she,
through that, not wanting to be
yeah,
here.
and
You know,
she,
without my kids, I put my kids as my like God. I didn't realize it, but I was like they were like everything, and so
mhm,
and my husband and even church were
mhm,
that was like my whole life. And then
Yeah.
one by one, boom, 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 and I wanted to get out of the marriage,
mhm,
but then I didn't know I was going to lose everything. And someone lied at me, and I was going to a 12 step recovery group in the church, and someone said I said something outside. So I got kicked out of the church, and the church wouldn't let me. All my friends were on Thursday night. It was a big church, right?
Yeah.
And all my friends were on the Thursday night, and they wouldn't let me go back to that. And I was like, but I sang in the choir at church. I loved it. And they kicked me out of church, and I was gonna get the divorce, and then my all my kids are mad at me, and I was just like, I don't want to go on anymore.
yeah,
I just want to die.
yeah. And she told me, she said, that is not for you to do. Only God is supposed to decide when you're no longer here. And I don't know what religion she is because we ain't talked about it. But she talked about God. She didn't call him Allah.
Mhm.
But
But yeah,
anyway,
but the Catholics are wrong, and that's so damaging to tell someone, especially when your family member did that, to tell
yeah,
them that your family member's in hell. That's horrible, and that's not true.
yeah.
Not
It's
true.
not true.
Oh
Not
no,
true.
Every sin is forgivable. Yes,
Yes, it
it's
is.
not right, but when you just, no one can understand. And I had someone, I think she was Catholic too, and
How do
just,
you
well,
know?
God says not to do it, and I don't do it. And I'm like,
there's
I'm
no
sorry, I
scripture.
blocked that
There
person
is no
There's no
scripture.
scripture.
because that
There
is
is.
so damaging, because the people that are left here are the ones that are hurting. They're still here. The ones
Yeah.
that have gone on, they're with God. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my brother did that, and your brother, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
And
they're
my
with
nephew.
God. I'm sorry, that's like a child. They don't. God knows, and God forgives, and God loves, and I know my
Well,
Yes.
brother.
like I told somebody, I was looking it up one day. I was trying to find if there was, because I know my preacher was a Baptist preacher, and when that happened,
Mhm.
um, and I was like
Well, I've
distraught.
known preachers. I've known a couple of preachers that did that in Georgia.
He
Yeah.
came to my house, and I told him, I said, Pastor Sorrels, I said, he won't go to heaven now. And he looked at me, he said, why do you think that? I said, because it says in the Bible that if you kill yourself, you won't go to heaven. He said, no, it doesn't.
Doesn't
He
say that.
said, it does not say that.
Doesn't say
And
that.
he said, you don't know somebody's heart. And he said, you don't know the
No, you
last
don't.
words he spoke. And God,
No.
he said, when a person gets to that point to do that, they're not in their complete right mind.
Yes,
No.
And
exactly,
he said, God
exactly.
did not hold that against them.
So we had a person that in Georgia, and this was back in the 90s. And he was the head of a ministry. Uh, it was called Save a Life. It was a crisis pregnancy center, and he
Hmm.
did that, and he had 6 kids too. And it was so sad. And then around the same time, this pastor of the First Baptist church we got involved in, they had a pastor before us, before we came there, that was there, that everybody just worshiped. We always heard stuff about him. Oh, Terry Taylor, and it was like they had him up on a pedestal, and he.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then the current pastor we had, he did a whole sermon series on it, and he's talked about, he's like, it's a sin, yes, but it's a forgivable sin. You're saved, all your sins are forgiven, past, future and present. you know and he said, the Faith's Hall of Fame in Hebrews 11 in the Bible talks about Samson. what did Samson do? Samson killed himself, killed all the
He
Philistines.
did.
Yeah, and yeah, he did. I
Right,
didn't think
Saul
about it
did.
that way.
Yeah, he
But
did.
then
Yeah.
there was somebody else that instead of being captured, and he was
He
he
goes
was a
to man.
godly man, and he fell on his own sword to keep from being captured and being
I think that
taken.
was Saul.
Was it? See, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember who it was,
And
but
yeah, but I think he probably was in the Old
well, God,
Testament they were saved by
yeah,
their faith. But yeah, I think that was
that,
Saul.
that's
No,
why David.
I have never thought that committing suicide would damn you to hell.
It's a
I
Catholic
I
thing.
could not see. Well, the thing of it was because when I first started school and where we lived, because we lived in Rome, Italy, so everything's Roman Catholic. You go to school to
Mhm,
Catholic school, you go to
Mm-hmm.
church, you go to a Catholic church. You didn't have no
Mm-hmm.
choice because that's all you had.
mhm.
Um,
Are you frozen?
Yeah.
She's frozen. Dang. Come back, Denise. I wanted to hear what you were going to say.
I know. Denise. Let me take her out and let her call back in. I know. Just keep that thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All
I
right.
got very interested in when I was in the Baptist church in the Catholicism, and I studied it, and I had a lot of Catholic friends, and I I felt like I wanted just to save them, and I'm like, I'm not as much like I'm different now. I'm not.
Well,
You
in our
can't tell if someone
group,
is
the
saved.
ones I call our ladies. Denise is Baptist. Um, I think Liz Ann is Lutheran. I think she's Lutheran.
Oh, I love Lutheran. I
And
love Presbyterian. That's what I.
then Tracy, you haven't got to meet. She used to be on here with me for like 2 years, you know. But she's the one that has, I think they call it RSD. It's like the pain that you can't get rid of. Um, she had a spinal stimulator replaced down her bad leg, but then her good leg went done the same thing. So she has been in serious pain. But she's Catholic. So, and then I call myself Baptist Costal,
that's
you
I
know.
had a friend in Georgia who called herself that. Well, I
Finish,
just call myself a progressive Christian now.
finish, Denise. We were just all up in it.
Yes,
I'm
we were.
sorry.
And
I
then I'm like,
know, and it
she's
knocked
frozen.
me out. Anyhow, I had been kind of involved in something with suicide. Not me, not personally,
Yeah.
but I was around it, and I was like, you know, these, and I can remember um, thinking, I heard people whisper, and I heard them saying stuff, and I thought, well, even as a young child, the God I know is not like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But because I had always been told and been around, my grandparents and stuff, and it was always, let me tell you, my grandparents, one of my set of my grandparents, primitive Baptist.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, they were so loving and taking care of each other so much and with us that I've never, not that I know that sin can't cause you to go to hell, but those are for people who ain't saved and don't want to be.
Yeah.
But
All I
I
can
had
think
always
of,
thought of God as a loving, caring God. And
Yes.
if somebody committed suicide, to me, it was like, I always wondered what hurt them so bad.
yeah. And
Yeah.
to me, it's a demonic thing
Why did
that
somebody
attaches.
hurt them so bad?
I think it's a demonic spirit that attaches because
That's what I
everybody,
also feel. That's what I also used to feel. I'm not as sure, like I said, I'm not as dogmatic anymore, but that's
Yeah.
what I felt at first.
But that's what I'm
um,
talking about. As a little child, I would think,
yeah,
I've always learned that God was a loving and caring God,
Hmm.
and that He sent Jesus to us, because He did love us.
Hmm.
And for me, it was simple,
yeah.
even to cover our sins. And
When I
like I
was,
said, even as a young child, I was like, this just didn't make sense to me when I'd hear people whisper about this. I'm like,
when I was a young child,
he'd be right.
that's the way I thought of God, But then as I got older,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the way people would preach fire and brimstone back in the
Oh,
early,
yeah. You go to
late
Primitive
70s,
Baptist, you're going to get it.
80s, I thought
Hmm.
of him because they'd say, well, he's your father. He's your father. So I got to think of God as my parents, that I would never be able to go to heaven because I would never be good enough. If I was so bad, my parents stayed at me all the time. And when I'd go to bed at night, I would pray, God, please don't let me get up in my sleep. That was number one.
Yeah.
Prayed that every night for me not get up in my sleep and have nightmares.
Hmm.
And then I'd always be afraid that the rapture was going to come and I was going to be left behind. And that
Exactly.
is what it took a long time to find a church that preached grace and love.
Hmm.
Yes.
It took a long
I
time,
feel like
Red.
they're very hard to find.
And the preacher preached Saturday night. He said we need to tear down the denominations. We need to
Yeah. See, that's
stop
why I'm like, I'm not anything.
and come
I
together.
don't go to
And
church very often.
yeah, come together as children of God, without all of that.
Hmm.
And that's so true. And um we have community nights that it doesn't matter. And the Assembly of God's one. And it don't matter what the denomination is, and we're having them come together praying over our communities with the homeless and the
Yeah.
Hmm.
people on drugs and all that,
Oh, yeah.
to try to reach out to get them in too. They my church does a thing on Saturday nights during the summer.
And
They
my thing,
they have activities at a right close to the river where there's a large
I don't,
homeless
yeah.
people, and they welcome everybody and they feed them. So the
See,
outreach is being poured out in our area.
that's the way it should be. I'm, I will tell you what, I won't step foot in a church that I have ever seen that has turned somebody away. I won't. Because God does not tell, that ain't God's church.
Yeah.
Um,
How are
Jim,
you supposed to turn people away when they're, how are they going to hear God's
yeah,
word if you turn them
Yeah.
away?
yeah.
Exactly.
Jen, all right, Jen brought up this. All right, Jen, I can explain from me. I can explain when I would feel like that. I tell you, all right, anytime I have felt like that. One time was, well, when I was in school. But I remember when my father in law died, it was 10 years into my marriage. And we've been married or together now 35 years, 36, something like that. But when he passed away, I didn't want to be here because of the hurt. Um, it's like when the hurt is so bad, that is
Yeah.
when I would have that. why don't you just leave? Why don't you just not be here? But what has always come to my mind, I would think of my babies. I would have to think, okay, what would Kevin do? What would, this and this? Because that was like, my father-in-law died a year after my brother. So the next time it was really, really bad was when my dad, right when he passed away. His was a long, drawn out thing. He had a stroke, but then he got bedridden. A lot happened with him, and it was to the point I prayed, Lord, he's ready to go home. Please let my dad go home. And when he did, it was like I just didn't want to be here because this place seemed like it was nothing but pain and heartache. And that's how it does, Jen. I had to explain it. Hey, Diana, my baby.
Hey, there's Diana. Hi, Diana.
But the grief and the not wanting to be here, and then the little voice, and that's why I think it's demonic. Well, Keithan will be okay. He's strong enough. Casey will be there for Kevin. So that was real hard because I know good and well my son and my husband wouldn't be okay with me doing something like that. And I didn't know until me and my oldest sister, I rode with her somewhere one day that she blamed herself for what my brother did. I said, how? She said, I should have known. And I explained to her. I said, you couldn't have known. And it's not your fault. I said, how have you blamed yourself all these years? I said, how could you blame yourself? And there was times that, like, if Casey felt during the 5 years, if he felt that something was wrong with me, he would come from his bedroom and poke his head. He said, Mom, are you okay? And I said, why? He said, just tell me, are you okay? And I told him one time, I said, no, I'm not. I said, call your Aunt Irene. That's my oldest sister. And she come over and I sat on the porch and I told her what was I was wanting to do. And she said, how could you think that? It's not automatic, Jen. It's and it really takes praying through that. And that's why I tell people, Christian people can be so depressed.
Yes, they can.
And but
even more so than others, that's what
when I was growing, when I was a teenager, I sat many a time in the bathroom by myself in the bathtub with a razor blade in my hand because I was like, I can't take any more of this.
Yeah,
that's what you get.
I'm worthless.
You get to. It's like, how can I? Yeah,
I felt worthless.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 19, I had a really bad breakup. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad relationship. It really wasn't a bad breakup, but I had put my all into this. And I wanted the pain to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The pain was more than I could. Let me tell y'all something. Emotional pain is 100 times worse than physical pain.
Yeah.
Ever is. I know because I've experienced extremely bad physical pain some days.
You guys, on Monday I'm going to have
compared to emotional pain.
Go ahead, Red.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, baby.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
On Monday I'm going to have Lori, my friend Lori. Her channel is Travels for Daniel. And her son Daniel took his life. And so she tries to talk about it and bring awareness and stuff like I do. And so she's going to be on my show Monday night, on my channel Monday night, and I'm going to interview her.
I think I have a playlist about that. And what I'm going to do, I'll save this to that playlist too. Um, but yeah, it's like I can remember sitting up at my pool one time and I was talking to God. I said, I just want to go home. I want to go home
Yeah.
where there's no more pain. God, I can't have
Yeah.
this. I just don't want to be here. And Casey he wasn't living at home then. He was living with Tiffany. And he said, Mom, are you all right? And I just sat there. He said, Mom. So before he left, he went and told his dad that he needed to check on me. And so we sat up there at the pool, and it was some things would be irrational that I would be feeling. I would be feeling like everybody here in the house. Oh, good, Diana. That I would be feeling like Keevan and his mom were doing things, making decisions
Woohoo.
without me. And
Mhm.
or that him and his sister and his mom was making decisions not including me. So to me, I felt like an outsider, and that's one of the things that I felt like I was the way I was treated as a kid. I always had to be on defense. In my first marriage, I had to be on defense. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's how I had to be.
it's not very because I'd had to feel like I had to take up for myself.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah, I
would
felt like the redheaded stepchild in my
Yeah, so
family.
it would like
Yeah.
start piling up, and then I would be like way off in my head. And, I told Kevin that, and he said, Well, whatever it takes, if you want to move out of the house and us get us another place, whatever you want, darling, will do. And then I was like, I can't leave your mom. No, I can't leave your mom by herself. So it's irrational. And it was very loud and irrational. And at the time, I wasn't taking anything, for depression, but I would do that over a course of living here sometimes. But I love my mother-in-law, and Denise knows. I loved her she's my mom. That's where I learned unconditional love was from her for
Mhm.
30 something years, 34 years. And what in the world would I have felt like if I had not been with her last 10 days? God had his plans for me, and I didn't know what his plans were. And so that's the feeling that you get when you just feel like all the hurt is hurting so bad. But
Mhm. Yeah.
I
And
thought,
it's funny because with my situation, it was my kids, not having my kids in my life. But then, that was why I wanted to do it. But then thinking about my kids and like leaving them that legacy and like they're going to know it was because they cut me out of their
yeah,
lives
yeah,
Mm-mm.
and I can't have them living with that legacy. So it was because of my kids I wanted to end my life. And it was because of my kids I didn't.
yeah. Well, and this can sound weird. Um, I remember because Keevan asked me this very last time, and they put me on something during the day. So it's like I'm on three different things. And, but I actually wanted to stop the one I take in the morning, and my rheumatologist said, well, it actually helps some with fibro. So I'm still taking it, but I really wanted to just stop taking a lot of stuff. But yeah, that last
I
time,
did cut out my antidepressant and I was still on a mood stabilizer because I'm a little bit bipolar.
yeah,
But just getting out of the situation with my child and my ex and the way they were abusing me, I felt so much better. But
yeah,
then the things happened with my kids, one by one. not talking to me, and that was just too
That,
much.
yeah, that's when Tiffany was out, and then I didn't see my grandkids, and it was like then my mom, so everything. But the weirdest thing is, Keaton said you didn't even think of me. I said, well, I felt like you and Casey would be okay. You had each other, but this can sound strange, but it was the thought of Tracy. The thought of Tracy, my friend Tracy, that we pray for because, to come back here. I thought of her and I thought, what in the world? And then I had not really, Denise wasn't on here then, but I thought of I thought, what would it be like if Casey had to pull up my YouTube? Diana, you're buffering. And it come to my mind, what in the world would it have felt like if Casey had to come on here and tell people I had done something like that? I didn't want to leave that.
Yeah.
And my sister, when my nephew did it, and he was baptized in the Baptist church. He was baptized in the Catholic church. His dad went to Catholic church. But in his wallet, they found something that he had wrote, I love God. And he carried that in his wallet the whole time. So he was going through a lot. And he was, I think he made it to 20. He was in his very early 20s. So, I've had a brother and a nephew do that. So that made me be more aware of what my kids were going through, like Casey.
Hush.
There's our beautiful.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, my beautiful friend.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
I'm having problems with my internet is what is going on. I hope I don't get kicked off here. How are you all?
Amazing.
Oh, I lost you all. Uh-oh.
No.
We still see you.
Yeah, we can see you.
I can see you.
You know what? I'm having problems with the internet. Can you?
We can see you, Diana.
She froze.
Hmm.
She froze it. Bless her heart.
I love her to pieces.
I do too.
Her.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Me and Diana have FaceTimed, and she's the same. I tell people she's the same when you just not even live and you're just FaceTiming as Diana is on her channel. You're buffering, Diana.
That's how me and Darlene were. We figured out we the same always. Ain't got a bit of sense.
Okay, I'm coming and going. So
Bless her heart.
Can still see her.
Yeah.
On my end.
Shoot, bless her heart. It's okay, baby.
My phone is like that here at my apartment. I have to drive up the street to talk on the phone.
Sometimes when we do a group chat and Monique will come in, she can see us, but we can't see her. So she'll have to, what is it? She'll have to.
Me and her, we hear her. She hears us, but she can't see us. And we can't see her, but we can hear her. Just like she does. So a lot of times if I get off my phone and I get on my laptop, then we could all see each other.
So sometimes, even if I'm not actually on here, I will sometimes.
It's the
I
scissors.
there.
Oh my
Can you hear us
goodness.
now, Diana? But I talked to. I reached out yesterday to Derek, and we talked for over an
Okay.
hour and a half. So, so I might not, even if I don't come on here, I give
That's
myself a
good.
hard time
That'll
about
be
it.
fine.
I will still, reach out to somebody, and we might talk a long time. But you know, Diana, are you with us?
I can hear you at this moment. It comes and goes. So if I don't answer back, you know what happened. But I wanted to tell you I just got back from the gym. And on the way home from the gym, I thought of you and I thought, I'm going to message her. And then when I got home, there was a message from you that you were coming live. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I was talking about you, Diana.
Yep.
I
Oh,
was
you
talking,
were?
yeah, good stuff only. I was saying how you were
There's nothing
speaking
bad to say
on
about you.
disrespect and that you shouldn't allow that. And I was like, that helped me with a
Mm-hmm.
situation that
Yeah.
I was struggling with.
Diana helped me with some of my, struggles that I was able when we FaceTime to pour out more or share more than I would on here,
Yeah.
public.
Well, we all have struggles. And one of the things, I try to come on and within reason, I try to share my own struggles because
Mm-hmm.
people often think that other people don't have struggles. And
Oh
every
yeah.
human being has struggles. We
Yep.
all do. They may look a little different, but we all have them.
Yeah, and we all have
Very true.
something going on with our children.
Oh,
Yes.
But
always. I have three.
Diana, I'm gonna tell you, we started praying over what I call fractured families.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I started calling it. I said, when we can't see our grandkids, somebody's holding them, they won't let it be part of their life. So we really got to praying over the fractured families. And then I found out Red was going through it. And I found out Jen was going through it.
Oh,
So we,
every family goes through it. Every family at different levels, different times. No matter what, people, if you have a family, you're going to go through stuff. That's just the reality of it. I did want to ask you. Your son went to Boston. What brought that about?
Casey moved to New Hampshire, Diana.
Well, you know what? I believe he'll be back, and I'm going to tell you what I believe and what I see. I believe he will be back, but he had to go away to come back. Does that make sense?
Would I am so excited though. He's doing so good. He needed to spread his wings, and that's why I'm so excited for him.
Yes.
And Diana, he FaceTimes with me 2 or 3 times a day.
Good.
He messages me, and sometimes he still will call me to pray over him before he goes into work.
Yes.
So
Sweet.
I'm excited for him.
But he needs this. He really, really
Yes, he
needs this.
did.
And this is his growth. And as much as he
Mhm.
loves his family, he needs this right now.
He does.
Yep.
You'll always have him. You'll always have him. So you don't ever have to worry about him like losing him or anything. You'll always have him.
Happened.
Casey loved Diana, and I asked him one time, "Is her background real?" He said, "What do you mean, Mama?" I said, "It's always perfect, Casey. Is her background one of them fake backgrounds?" He said, "No, Mama." I said, "Well, is she a real person?" "Yes, Mama." Oh, goodness.
YouTube is a very strange world. I have to tell you, and I haven't been doing live streams. It's been like 6 months. When my husband took sick is when a week or two before he took sick, I stopped because I was
Mhm.
having all kinds of technical glitches.
Yeah.
And it was as if God was telling me, you need to get off right now. And I got
Mhm.
off. And then my husband got sick, and he's doing really, really incredible
Good.
right now. He's been through a lot. We've been through a lot. It was a really rough 4 or 5 months. But I haven't done live streams for about 6 months. And part of it was that YouTube was also not pushing me out. And, if you notice that I have to, the way it's working with me with YouTube is I have to stick within a few narrow topics. Otherwise, they knock me down. And it's really, really, I've gotten to a place where anytime I put out my typical grandma wisdom, I get knocked down. I don't know why. And so I'm just kind of, it's just a very strange world. But I love YouTube. I love YouTube. I'm not saying anything bad, YouTube.
No, because you keep it real. Once
Yeah.
I started watching yours, and then once we started talking, I figured out you're just like me, and you're like, Denise, and you're just you. But there's so many channels is not like that.
Yeah, there's so many channels that are fake. Yeah. That's what I got. I got involved with some people that, I shouldn't have been. And if I hadn't have been away from God, I would have been more careful.
Yes.
So because I was away from God, I was not being careful with who I hung out with,
And I'm very careful whose live I go up on. I come up on yours, and yours is one of the very few that I will go up on because, oh my gosh, you get crazy people that follow you.
There's so many
they
crazy,
really follow you.
Goodness, and fake people on YouTube.
And if you watch them for a while, then you see when they spin out of control. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm not being better than anybody, but it says in the Bible that you're supposed to not be unequally yoked. That's either marriage, or I think that's finances. And I believe it's even this, because as God, as I started this, Derek was with me almost from the beginning, and he would encourage me, and he would come on with me. Hey, Monique. He would come on with me while I set it up to explain what to do. And he would always tell me, stop talking down about yourself. And then Tracy was here. But there was some people that would come, and then I would know. God would let me know that he was about to change.
Bring change.
And then there would be people that would leave.
Well, where is Derek now? Is he still around? What's
he was up here this morning. He had pneumonia. I talked to him yesterday. He come up here with us, but then he got a call because he messaged me. The doctor wanted him at the ER. So there's some things that they need to monitor, or he needed some kind of x-ray, but it would be with contrast. A CT, he can't do that because the contrast would damage his kidneys, because his kidneys are damaged already. So he can't have any test would die.
What about his cancer?
It's still there. Pancreatic. Do you remember, Red, what stage it was in? Did he say when they got it?
I may have met him before, but I don't remember.
I think it was. I think he's in like stage 3 or 4. So, it's.
Well, my husband was in the last stage of cancer, and after he finished the brutal chemotherapy, and I got sick from his chemotherapy.
I remember that.
Horribly sick. I ended up in the ER. It was a horrible time for a couple months, and I'm fine now. Anyhow, he finished his chemotherapy. After the chemotherapy, he was only down 25% reduction, and they couldn't do anything else. And I said, you know what? We're going to take over now. And I said, the doctors all said it was fine. And we went on a very holistic diet. And I've lost 35 pounds as a result. But it wasn't about weight loss for either of us. It was getting him to be what they call alkaline, anti-cancer diet. We went on an anti-cancer diet, which means no sugar, no carbs, or very limited carbs. And he is now, his last measurements were 75% reduction. And then they just said that there's no new growth. And so he's been really well. He does have neuropathy, which means he has numbness in his hands and feet, which is awful. But he still plays golf, does the whole bit. So we are on this healthy way of life. So I believe that cancer can be turned around. It's not a death sentence, but you've got to do your part. And we are extremely strict on our part.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to start this new eating plan because the only way before I lost weight and then I gradually gained it all back and
Me too.
extra was cutting out the sugar. And I'm going to do this. I signed up for Bright Line Eating and I heard about it from the Crappy Childhood Fairy. And it sounds really good. And so I think that's going to be, and it sounds similar to your diet, Diana, because it's no flour and sugar.
We've had to go very extreme. Hey, Monique, thank you. We've had to go very extreme on this diet because of his severity of his cancer. And so we've turned it around. But we don't deviate except for maybe on a rare occasion we'll go out to a restaurant, but that's pretty rare now. We all greens. We do have meat, but the meat is a very high quality meat. There's no sugar and nothing that turns to sugar. So, for example, we don't do pasta, rice, bread, anything like that. That's all eliminated from our diet. And we do only spring water, and I buy my bottles, by the gallon, and I drink at least 1 gallon of spring water per day. I lost 35 pounds.
Oh, wow. You didn't have it to lose, Diana.
No, I know, but it's just from being on the diet, just from being on his healthy way. Not that I ever ate unhealthy because I didn't, but I just got back from the gym. I do an average of 3 to 4 hours of a workout per day total between my run and everything. That's at 65 years old. So you got to really, if you want to live to be 100, and I do, I want to live because God has a lot of divine purpose for me and for all of you, but we've got to do our part to make it happen. There's no guarantees, but we sure can point it in that direction.
Denise's dad is a fine example. He still golfs, and Denise put his age down because I always look that man. First time I ever seen him, I asked Denise, I said, was that your son leaving? She got tickled. She said, that's my daddy. I said, what? He's 85.
85. Keep rocking.
And I'm going to tell you guys, he looks like he's 50, if that old.
Because exercise will make you younger. In person, we're talking not on virtual world. In person, people think I'm much younger. And when I tell them I'm 65, they go, no way, no way. But it's because of what I do. People think, oh, you've had all this plastic surgery. And, I get that all the time on YouTube. And the only facelift I ever had was when I was 39. It was a mini lift that didn't do anything because I didn't need one in the first place. And I'm 65 now. They only last like a year or two. And so that's it. That's it. It's, but it's a healthy lifestyle. I live a totally healthy lifestyle.
Casey cut out his caffeine. He quit drinking coffee before he left. And he quit eating out. And there was something else he quit doing. And
coffee is not bad for you within limits. And it actually is an antioxidant.
But
I have 1 cup a day.
He lost 20 pounds. Well, see, he had put sugar and stuff in his. I drink mine black. Yeah. So he lost 20 pounds before he left. And he said, Mom, those pants I bought, he said, they're just about hanging off of me now. And I said, well, how much more have you lost? Because, pizza would bloat him. Yeah. There's some stuff he would eat out that would absolutely bloat his stomach out so bad. And I said, Kevin, don't send him out for food if he don't want to eat. And if you send him out for something because you think he needs to eat, he's going to eat anyway. And I said, Kevin, he's trying not to do that. We
don't eat out. We're going to eat out on our anniversary. We have an anniversary soon. We'll eat out on our anniversary and we'll eat what we want because there's no sense in going to a restaurant unless you can eat what you want. Because if you order, a hamburger without a bun or whatever, you're just not going to do that. It's a waste of money. But at home, it's specific all the way. And I can tell you, Red, you will lose weight immediately if you just knock out your sugar and your carbs. And I will give you an amazing. you can go right now. If you've got some cream cheese in the refrigerator, take your stevia, your cream cheese, and some walnuts, throw it together, and then put it back in the refrigerator. Mix it up real good. It is fantastic. We have desserts that are non-sugar that taste like sugar. We use stevia in everything. Stevia is a healthy alternative.
Yeah, I used to have stevia, and I used to make stuff with Splenda. I used to make because I lost like 40. It was in 2008. I lost like 40 pounds, like 30, 40 pounds. And I started out, I was less than what I am right now. Because I gained a lot from the divorce, and then I gained from COVID.
Emotional eating.
They said that the C word, people gained almost 15 pounds during all that. So they called it that kind of weight. But see, when Keithan was on that diet, I was doing the shakes, and I was waking up, making myself within 30 minutes eat one of those, like a protein bar or something. And then every 3 hours to eat, one of those. But
I eat once a day, only one time per day. I eat in a window. It's called intermittent fasting because your body, we were taught growing up, you got to eat 3 meals a day and have snacks in between. That's what we were taught. And so I eat once a day. So does my husband. It's usually in the evening, but whatever time we pick, we eat, and then we're done. We have no more food.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Keeping and them get at me because I'll go all day without eating. I'm trying to think
That's healthy. That's actually a very, very wonderful thing to do.
I don't know if
I was doing that, and I don't eat in the evenings. And even like, I kind of was rebellious against it, though. I didn't, because my ex was so, and even when I lost the 40 pounds, like he just never made me feel good enough.
Yeah.
But even when I lost the 40 pounds, and I was doing so well, and I was jogging, and then I started having problems with my feet. I had that one. You had, Diana, plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
And
I had that one time. That's awful.
I had that, and let me tell you how I got rid of it. I went and I got some really great insoles from the podiatrist, and I got rid of it. And I had it bad. I was using a crutch. That was when I first came on YouTube publicly 2.5 years ago. I had plantar fasciitis.
I looked up your videos, and I got the shoes. I got the New Balance.
Oh my gosh, New Balance. I could, they ought to hire me for a commercial or something because New Balance is so amazing. I'm telling you, the only shoes I wear, I've got them. I've got them on right now.
Do you guys know Rhonda? Oh, I like those. Terry's mom, I think she goes by Rhonda Oliver. She does the coins and stuff. Terry just said she had open heart surgery today.
Wow. We'll pray for
I did not know, Terry, that your mom suffered with her heart.
I'm going to write that down.
Yes, we will keep that.
We will.
Pray for wellness, total wellness, just total wellness. Yeah, total wellness. Red, when you start doing a live stream, I would love to come up. I will come up on yours, Red, if I am available. Like you usually do.
I'm going Monday, but it's late on the East Coast. I know it's late for you.
Well, if it's real late, then usually not, because by that time I'm about ready for bed. But I love coming up on your lives. But Norcas is really the only one that I will come up on. I get invited to a lot of them, and I really don't go.
Because Diana at one time started having people come on her panel.
Yeah.
And that's when it really got kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then she started getting all these trolls.
My bullies followed me over to Diana's channel.
Yeah.
And and they
came to my channel from your channel, and then I would get the ones that would come up and porn my channel, porn my life, and then I'd have to.
Terry,
I'm so careful.
Terry, we're not gonna claim that. We're gonna speak life over that. That's what the preacher said Saturday night. That we need to speak life.
Speak life.
Yes.
So right now we're gonna come together, Terry. and we are going to speak life over your mom, and we're not going to accept that 25%.
Yeah.
We are not going to accept that
Absolutely.
25%.
Speak only words of health. You can address the issue and address the problem, but speak only positive words. That's what I do with my husband. You will be well because you have a lot more work to do here, and you can't leave me.
Terry, Sonia is still alive, and they almost a year ago they did a procedure, and they did not give her but about a 2%. And when the doctor come back after the weekend, did not think she would still be alive, and they're still not giving up on her. So doctors don't know. They don't know, and God is bigger. And we're going to
We're praying.
do prayers, and we're going to speak life over her. Yes, Monique said God decides, not us.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Talking about our channels, it's interesting because the live streams really do pull in. I don't do them right now, but they do pull in a lot of people when you do them. And so it's good that you're doing the live streams, both of you. I'm just not doing it right now because I don't have time, because I'm a full-time college student, and my husband's and all the stuff that I do in my workouts.
You got a lot of stuff going on.
I do have a lot. Yeah, I'm full-time.
That's inspiring.
I'm doing midterms right now in my college. I started a new university, and but one of the things about your channel, and I'm going to tell you a little secret that I've learned, and it's kind of challenging for me right now. But you have to find your niche. You have to find your niche. And like Red, you're talking about, going on a diet. Your niche or niche or whatever it is could be to show people your weight loss journey on.
Oh yeah, I will do that. But right now, my niche has been a lot of mental health. I talk about that all the time.
Yeah, and that can be your niche too. I mean, anything like Norga says is Christian women's devotion.
And Diana, I was in there, and I'm like, I've got to get up and get something done. And I come in here and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go live. Pajamas. This is I did put a bra on, but pajamas, and I'll show you. Look, let me put this up here. This is what I'm working on, Diana. There. Wait, this is my art supplies over here. I've got to get those in order. Look at them. I have every art thing that you can imagine.
I love it. I love it.
That's my phone showing. But that's what I thought, well, I'll come in here, and even if I'm sweeping, if Denise is in there reading the chat. So, no, I haven't really gotten anything done. But
I saw you moving stuff around. I saw you.
Look, God orders our steps.
God orders our steps.
So I send out the link to Diana because sometimes she don't get the, announcement.
Well, I was shocked because I was thinking of you, and I was going to come home and I was going to message you through Facebook. And there your message was.
See, it was meant. It was meant for me too. And Terry, you never know. It could have been you and your mom. That we're here and we're going to lift your mom up and you up. So, that's the thing.
Derek too.
And I didn't mean to come in here, and I'm like, no, I don't care. I even showed them how much my hair's done grown out. I got about that much growth, and it's like, do I just go back blonde or do I stay red?
Just be you. Just be you. Do whatever makes you happy and makes you feel good about yourself. And
today I'm like, all right, I'm this, and we're just going to go live and go from there. And I went live, and
I'm so.
I voted for the red.
I miss all of you. I miss all of you.
I did light amethyst. I can't say the word. What's the word?
Amethyst.
Yes, and it's a It's more on the
Purple.
purple. See, Monique said go purple. It's a light purple because I've been trying to go lighter and lighter, but look, there's no telling what my hair is going to look like when I get the money to do it. I do it myself. I just look at all the hair dyes and I'm like, huh.
You know what? It's fun to go through the hair color, at the pharmacy is usually where I bought my hair color. And, just have fun, try a different hairstyle, try a different color, just be you.
Diana, my color would be about your color.
Woo!
My hair was blonde, and that's why my eyebrows, you can't see them, and my
I had to
eyelashes.
pencil my eyebrows in because I lost my eyebrows. When I was about 55, my eyebrows just started, so I have to pencil them in. Yeah, at this stage in my life, at 65. When you get older, your body does change, and you've got to work with your body.
Yeah, because I don't have the eyebrows I had when I was younger.
Yeah.
But Keithan loves me either way. He loves a redhead.
Yep.
He loves somebody squishy. So I won't say I'm fat. I'll say I'm squishy.
Well, stay on squishy. Stay on squishy. What works
So
for you?
we got to stop bringing bread back in the house. When Mama passed, we didn't buy bread.
Yeah.
And now Tiffany will ask me, or Kevin asks, what'd you eat all day? I had a bread sandwich. And then Tiffany bought the Sara Lee bread, the Sara Lee butter bread. Oh my gosh, you guys. I would just, and you know what a sandwich, bread sandwich is just 2 pieces of bread.
With fried green tomatoes on it.
And the thing of it is, Diana, that's just carbs. So then when I start crashing from it, or I get the shakes, or Casey will say, Mom, that's because and Tiffany will be, all you've eaten is that bread. That's why you got the shakes. And that's why, you feel off balance. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Denise said no hair on her legs, underarms. See, I don't either. But
but that happens when you get older. When you get older, I don't have to shave my legs.
I don't have to shave my legs anymore. I have to get my face waxed though.
See, I didn't have to worry.
The hair here and here.
I didn't have to worry about my legs because during the summer I did, because when the light would hit them, you could see. Sometimes Casey said, Mom, you need to take care of those legs. And I'll be like, can't nobody see them?
Just take care of your body for your health. If there's nothing that will look more beautiful than great health. When you feel good, when you're rested, when you feel healthy, there's nothing more beautiful than that. You have an energy and a glow about you.
This makes me happy. You guys don't realize, but this right here is when I look like I'm energized, Diana. Because this brings that joy.
Yeah.
This brings that joy.
You will know your divine assignment either through what you love or what you don't like. And because what we don't like, we try to fix, like doctors. They're trying to make people better.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, and you will know where your destiny is through what you love or what you don't like. And so I do what I love. I do what I love at this stage of my life. Every day. Life is too precious not to live your life fully.
That's the way I think about hair color. Just, don't think
about it. Just go wild.
Monique says she don't think her hair will ever go away. Look, we say that Casey and Brandy look exactly alike. I said, but Brandy has more hair on her face than Casey. Casey, when they did some kind of test, they said he had more hormones than what is the other that men have?
Testosterone.
Yes.
Our oldest daughter, has more testosterone than she does hormones.
Yeah.
So, it's like they're the opposite.
Everybody's different. People try to put everybody into a box, but everybody's different. Hormones, when you get older, your hormones change.
Oh, yeah.
My hormones have changed as I've gotten older.
Yeah, after a hysterectomy or somebody goes through the change, they'll tell them, well, you need hormone therapy. I didn't do that. And I never have taken them because I said, I tell people, we're getting extra hormones. If you do dairy,
Yeah.
you're getting those extra hormones they gave the cows. If you eat chicken breasts are not supposed to be the size of what used to be a turkey breast.
Right.
I said, so that's why little girls are developing too, early. And I said, so when they would give women the hormones, I said that would be too much. So I've never taken them. I
Well,
didn't,
I don't take any kind of medicine. I take nothing. I take
Diana.
nothing. Yeah, I take nothing. And one of the things, the reason I stay thin, really thin, is to keep my blood pressure normal or low. And because as we age, there's a couple things that happen. The blood pressure goes up, and so it's just a
I
very
have
natural.
high blood pressure.
Yeah, blood pressure issues. And so I keep my weight really low, and I have no sugar, no salt, because anytime I notice that as soon as I take sugar or salt, it will go up. So I have a very normal blood pressure, so I don't have to take any kind of medicine.
See, mine is low. So
You're
they
good.
found out what was causing me to pass out.
Good.
My blood pressure bottoms out. It's always been low. It when I was at 255, my blood pressure was still low.
Yeah.
But they finally figured it out. So I have to take a blood pressure medicine to bring it up. And what I had to do is divide that up between night and day because it was pushing it up too much.
Too much.
So I have to, and they told me to get salt, eat salt. And I've always been a salt eater, Diana. But it's like once he said, the heart doctor said, I'm prescribing potato chips, salty potato. I'm like,
I'd like to be on
Yeah.
that.
it's just trying to
Yeah,
lose
really. I'd
weight.
like to be on that day.
And he looked at Keith and he said, but not you.
Yeah.
I could tell by looking at you. No, he said, not you. So when they tell you you need to eat more salt, all of a sudden you don't have a taste for the salty stuff.
I haven't done salt, and
No salt.
I don't do any. I haven't used a salt shaker in forever. I just
I do. I salt everything before I eat it, before I taste it.
You have to. You have to. But like for me, like at 65, you just have to deal with different things. And so I want to. I'm working. One of my focuses in my life is to live to 100 and 100 plus. And so I don't know whether I'll make it there, but I have to really do my part if I'm
Yeah.
going to do that. My kids need me. My family needs me. And so I have two young sons that'll never move out.
Look, I thought that too, Diana.
I know they'll never move out. I said, well, I better live to be 100 or you'll be homeless. I said, you've got it too good here. They have it really good here.
Well, both my kids know that this is always home.
Yeah.
This was my home. I was taken in by the Crawley family.
Yeah.
I was taken in. I was grafted into this.
Yeah.
So it's this home has never been put up on a loan, never been mortgaged, because Mama always said if it's paid for, you'll always have a home.
Yeah.
That you can't lose that way. Monique said never say never. So the kids know that they always they don't have to be homeless.
Yeah.
They don't.
And that's how I feel. This is my anchor here for my kids. And, I want to be around. We knew a lady and she lived to almost 100 and her daughter stayed with her. Her daughter had some issues. And so her daughter lived with her all the way until, and I tell my kids, I said, as long as mom and dad are alive or mom is alive or dad is alive, one of us, you always have a home.
Yeah. All right. And I do want to tell you guys, Dwayne sent me pictures. He's in Georgia now. He's in Alabama, North Alabama, Diana, and he's working in Georgia.
Okay.
But oh my gosh, they got them a new house. And I said, where's the pictures? And it is beautiful.
I love Alabama.
Oh my gosh. His home, the home that they got is beautiful. And he said it's about, I think he said 2 times or 3 times the size of the one that was in Utah.
Yeah, I love Alabama. It's one of my
So,
favorite places.
so yeah, he come right at the heat when it was so hot, but I think he's going to like the winters here because they're not like, well, he's in North Alabama, so he might get the cold, but still his home is beautiful. He's got his wife's there and everything. They sold that house, so he is yes, they're living there now. She had to celebrate her 50th birthday, his wife did, in a single wide. He said, and he showed me the picture in a single wide. He said, I never thought that I would end up putting her in a single wide with no internet. So that's what they did when they, before the house got ready. So we laughed about that a lot. But yes, they are finally where they need to be. So I had to send out the helicopters for Dwayne. Then for Chris O, somebody done hacked his other Facebook. So I went to his brother's page. I said, tell your brother this is Norgus R. Please get in touch with me. Is he okay? So he finally got in touch with me. He called me. But Diana, I was worried because I hadn't been on here, and I'm like, I'm losing my people. Where is Chris?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to, find them. And that really stressed me out.
Well, and because on YouTube, most people don't go by their real name.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the few that was, I didn't know better when I came up on YouTube and so now it's too late, but most people don't. And so you can't find them unless you.
Him and like Terry, and I'll go down my list and just ask people, how are you doing? Because people come to my mind, and when they do, like I come to your mind today, Diana. I
Oh,
was
absolutely.
but last night I don't know what got me to come in here, and I've been singing the past few days. I don't know if you guys know the song "Raise a Hallelujah." It's one of the what they call them Bethel music. Um, oh my gosh, you'll have to Google it and listen to that song, "Raise a Hallelujah."
Yeah.
But we sing that at church, and one of it says, all right. Oh, let me see where it says it. Oh, I'm going to sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder, you're going to hear my praises roar. And every time I think of the storm, most of the time, it's my body. My body's trying to keep me from going to church, and my body's trying to keep me in bed. So that's my storm that I try to overcome.
Everyone gets a storm. Everyone gets different kinds
Yes.
of storms. Yours is with your body. It could be with your kids. It could be with your marriage. It could be with your finances.
Yep.
It could be with anything, your job.
So I come in here last night and I printed the lyrics off. And to start with, I just sat here by myself singing it. And then I went to the YouTube video. And for some reason, I had to sit here and listen to that. And I raised my hands like I did in church. So there was something that God was dealing with me. And I really think it was a pull to get back in here.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you let me know because, I've been out of the loop as far as live streams go. And Red, when you do go, let me know. And I would love to do a live stream again. But the problem is YouTube, at least, it's been a kind of a combination of reasons why I don't do it because I do get the trolls that now come in.
Yeah.
Because when you get, you just get a lot of different people. So I'm very mindful of that. And I just find that doing my content, I'd rather go up on someone else's live than my own at this point.
You guys, if you're writing it down, please put it in your prayers, Red and her children,
Yes, Red.
her family.
Yeah, and I'm going to see my daughter with my new grandbaby,
Good
and
for
she
you.
invited me. She's in her house finally,
Good.
and so I'm going to go next month. And I
Good.
thought maybe my son would go with me, and that would be kind of helpful because I had a thing with her mother-in-law, and she lives right near her mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want prayer about that because I
Yep.
don't want any strife or anything between us anymore. And
Red, where are you living now? What
I'm,
state?
I'm in Denver. I'm in Colorado by
Okay.
my younger son.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday. I went live, and my son and I went to dinner on Wednesday, and he got me this orchid and chocolates, and which I'm probably not going to eat. And yeah, it's been really good. But we were both sick recently.
Keevan had me to meet him for lunch, and I really didn't want to get out that day. And we went to the Mexican restaurant, and he said, "It's her birthday." And I looked at him. I said, because they bring you the fried ice cream out there, and they rub the whipped cream all over your face. And Keevan always said, "You better not ever do that to me." I wasn't expecting it. So there I was, no makeup. I told Casey I would at least look cute for the picture if I knew he was going to do that. Sure enough, here they come. And they wrote it all. I need to put the picture on Facebook. Bless his heart. He did good.
Darlene, I'm gonna have to go because I don't know if you saw my post. I have 100 solar lights in my, because we have a big property, and I've been out there repositioning all my solar lights so that they're right at the right angle. Before it gets dark, I need to get out there.
Right. Remember Diana and Jack, her husband.
Jack and Diane.
Yes, Jack. Remember them, guys.
Thank you.
Please remember Terry and his mom, Rhonda. We're not going to accept that 25%, Terry. We're not going to accept it.
That's right.
So,
Janice, love you. I love Janice. She's so wonderful.
I love you, Diana. I love you, Red. Thank you for coming in. Denise, thank you for everybody in the chat.
I'm gonna go. Love you all. Let me know. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
But I'm gonna jump off here. I hear them leaving work over there, and Kevin will come in, be ready for food. I wasn't expecting to be on this long, but
wow, thanks for having me.
God has His reasons.
Yeah,
we might not understand them, but
yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank
you for jumping up here, Red. I love you.
I love you too. Yes,
love you guys.
You guys will always have a special place in my heart. I'll go
thing.
down so you can.
No, then I'm up here. I love you guys. Oh, let me end it.